Hey guys, how's it going? Professor Shuckle here, and today I'm back with another Pokemon Draft League video. This time I'll be going over my run for the Pokemon Summer Seasonal Draft Tournament, which is run by Smogon. Um, this is an SV Paldea Dex format tournament with two Terra captains whose combined Terra price must be less than 25. And this is slightly different than the other Smoke-On tournaments in the sense that this is a Swiss bracket. Swiss bracket means people with similar records play each other. So, like, if I go 3-2 after round 5, in round 6, I would play somebody who's most likely 3-2. There's a chance you could play like somebody who's 4-1 if there's not like uneven number of like pairs or whatever. But yeah, so based on the number of like people allowed, I believe to top cut you had to get um, a 7-2 or better record. So if you lose 3 times, you're out of the tournament. So it's pretty like I actually like this format quite a bit because like every round you're playing someone who's like equally plays record as you. So like you're not like farming people who are not doing so well, or maybe their drafts are not good. You're like playing every round you win. You're playing like technically a more competent player, which is pretty cool. Um, so yeah, I decided to sign up. As I said, I was trying to qualify for the draft league circuit because if you haven't, if you've been following my channel, I made runner up in the Oras Cup and I got a lot of points. Which put me in like the top half. So I've been trying to do a bunch of Smogon tournaments just to make sure I stay top 16 and qualify for the circuit. So yeah, decided to sign up for this summer seasonal, and I believe my draft pick was 6th or 7th. I don't remember, but it was pretty bad because Smogon hates me. They never give me a good pick. Um, but for some reason, Tornadus-T dropped to me at 6th or 7th pick. I don't remember what it was. And Torn sold out to Terra in this. So Terra Tornadus-T used to be banned because they thought it was too good, too strong. And then after some more testing, when we figured out like more broken Pokemon like in Terra, Torn, again, like if it's not allowed to Terra, it feels very underwhelming. So it was allowed to Terra again, and the premise that like it's not as strong as some of the other broken guys, like Baxcalibur or T Knight. Um, but I think Terratorn is really really good, obviously, because like you can Terra Fairy. Like Fairy is a pretty good defensive typing, right? And offensive typing, and you have regen and Terraing out of flying. Um, lets you run different items than boots, right? You can run specs or a rocky helmet or assault vest. Um, you have nasty plot, and Terra Blast obviously gives you coverage if you want. Like Terra Blast, Terra Fairy gives you basically Fairy stab, which is pretty good. Obviously, you can run Choice Specs, Terra Flying, Terra Blast as well, which is really strong. And if you don't want to miss Hurricane, um, obviously good speed tier has regen, really good mon. I really liked it. Next up, I picked up Greninja, which is again another behemoth in this format. Obviously, Battlebond and Protean are both allowed since they were both nerfed this gen. Um, Initially, I didn't think Greninja fit my team just because there's clumpy speed tiers with Torn T, but I really didn't want the Great Tusk team to get Greninja because that sounded like really annoying to play, even though I would probably only face it once. But I don't know, I just felt like Greninja was too good to pass up and let the Great Tusk team have a good speed guy. Um, so I just took Greninja. It covers the water, it covers the dirt, good speed tier, can revenge as well. The only issue with this, like Gren and Torn, both of them don't really like running Scarf. But their speed is pretty good, and Gren also obviously gives us a priority in Shuriken, which is pretty nice. Next up, round 3, I didn't really think this mon would drop to me, but Terrapagos did drop to me. And obviously this form seems pretty bad, but if we go to the Terrastal form, and this thing is a behemoth, right? Like, its stat spread is so good. Its ability is broken multi-scale, so when you're at full, you take resisted damage from everything, even like multi-hit moves. Um, it has Rapid Spin and like Meteor Beam, has Calm Mind. Can rock polish too if you need to be faster than opposing Scarfers. Pretty good coverage. Terra Starstorm is a fantastic stab move. Um, yeah, this is a fantastic mod, right? And it's like basically a get out of jail free card once. So that's pretty good. Um, Next up, I decided to get Tinglu. I really debated getting Iron Treads instead because I wanted Terrapagos to not run boots as much, so that like Iron Tread spins for it, and Terrapagos could just be like lefties, or like Power Herb, or Specs, or like Scarf even, or just like red card if something is annoying and you can fade it out. Um, but in the end, I decided Tinglu is a lot better. It gives me a sturdier ground, sturdier dark type. It's kind of annoying to kill. It also can hit pretty hard. It has a pretty good attack stat of like 110. Weakness policy Tinglu has been popping off recently, so you know it's another good set. Has rock spikes, has whirlwind, has ruination to like, so it's not passive wild setting hazards. So I thought it was just pretty good, and with Torn should be able to blanket check a lot of things for me. Next up, I decided to get Metagross. Metagross has again like risen in popularity in SV after not really being used anywhere in Switch. I think just because other steals are better. But this gen getting knockoff, heavy slam, psychic fangs, I think, like has made this mon really good. Obviously, it has rocks. It's also pretty nice into some like top tier meta threats like Iron Valiant and Enam. Although I think Enam was not allowed to Terra in this, so that's that's pretty nice. Yeah, just a general solid steel type, which I really wanted. Gives us another form of priority with Bullet Punch, which is nice. Next up, I decided to get my Grounded Poison in Swalot. Swalot is pretty decent this generation because it got Toxic Spikes and has Encore. So it's not really Sap Fodder, has Knockoff, Yawn, Pain Split, all this stuff. And I thought Grounded Poison would be nice because Tinglu usually like wants to run lefties or something, and it doesn't really want the T spike like whittling it down. So I thought Grounded Poison would be nice to have. Next up, I decided to get Obama Snow just because I felt my Ogre Pun matchup was pretty bad, like into Wellspring or Teal form. Um, and Obama Snow is just like a nice blanket check into both of them. Obviously, they can U-turn out, but like I don't instantly lose to them, which is pretty nice. And then Abomasnow is also pretty like decent this gen. Um, its stabs have always been good offensively, but now with the defense boost from Snow, it's actually pretty bulky into like a lot of grounds, which is really nice. Aurora Whale's pretty good. It has Sword Stain Trailblaze to be like a scary setup sweeper if the opportunity arises. And yeah, just a generally solid like low tier mod for 4 points. It's pretty like a really good price for it. So I got Obama Snow, and then last I got Primate. Just like a scarf option. Obviously with Terra, because I made him my Terra captain. The second Terra captain, I feel like it has some potential with like bulk up Rage Fist. Because obviously you got Rage Fist as well, which is broken. It has rocks, U-turn, close combat, Scarf Final Gambit. Can do some stuff. In hindsight, maybe making Obama Snow the Terra captain was better. But I went with Primate at the end. It's not like the end of the world. Like my top 7 are pretty solid, and like should be coming to most games. So like Primate will probably only come if Swallow or Obama Snow have a bad matchup, which should be rare. So yeah, that's it for my draft. Let's jump into a round 1 where we're playing Data, who is someone we've played quite a bit in the past actually. I remember I played him in some league where he had to draft by like different colors of the Pokedex, and he beat me twice, like pretty comfortably. So, but then I played him in like 2 team tour games, and I beat him there. And then I think we played in Trick House, and I beat him there in like playoffs. So like quite a bit of like games in history between us. Anyways, he has a draft of Iron Valiant, Greninja, Jirachi, Donphan, Lokix, which I believe was his Terra captain, and Electivire. And I also believe his second Terramon was the Ogerpon Teal form, which did not come, but which obviously influenced prep a lot. So as you can see, it's a pretty scary team. Valiant Greninja is a really strong offensive duo. Lokix is surprisingly pretty strong. Donphan's a pretty good ground type this gen, just because spin is like a luxury. So Jirachi is also pretty solid this gen with like screens and like Thunderwave Encore, the Jirachi nonsense. And Electivire was 1 point, and I love Electivire, so Data is the goat for drafting it and bringing it. Yeah, let's jump into what we're bringing. And starting up, we have in the Southwest Tornadus-T with Terra Poison. Terra Poison, I just thought matched pretty well into Valiant and the Ogre Pawn Teal form, resisting like it's both of their stabs. And then AV was to help with like Greninja, and I felt like Poison was the best neutral defensive typing into Grand, because like I'm not weak to either Hydro Pump or Dark Pulse, and if it's trying to click like Ice Beam when I'm when I'm flying, I'm also neutral to that, so I can eat the hits pretty easily. And then with the regen, I can kind of like heal myself again and again, and because I'm not weak to rocks, then I don't really need boots. And I have Heat Wave, which hits the Jirachi and the low kicks, and the Ogre Pun as well. U-turn just for momentum. Sludge Bomb, which actually does a decent bit of damage with the Terra Poison, and obviously has a nice poison chance. It OHKOs Valiant, I believe, and I don't know if it OHKOs the Ogre Pun, but it comes pretty close. And then does decent damage to Greninja to gang with. And last we have Knockoff, because getting rid of items is always nice. Next up we have Choice Cup Greninja. I just went Protean just because I was planning on clicking U-turn quite a bit. So I didn't really feel like Battle Bond would ever, what do you call it? Would do well, especially because Valiant can have Vacuum Wave to like stop any Battle Bond attempts, and I felt like I would need to be Chople then. And then if I was Chople, I wouldn't be doing as much damage as I thought. And this is also a nice way of like revenging Booster or Scarf Valiant and like Battle Bond Gren, like it can force a speed tie. So this is just like a last resort kind of thing. Dark Pulse, Sludge Wave, U-turn, Ice Beam. No water move because I felt like I didn't really need it. Dark Pulse was pretty decent. All of the 3 resists here. Sludge Wave also felt pretty nice because the Jirachi is not going to be an initial switch into Greninja, and neither is Donphan, right? So like Sludge Wave seems pretty nice. U-turn for momentum, and then Ice Beam. I don't know if there was something else on the team which Ice Beam hit. I'm trying to think if there was a Dragalge on this. But I think Ice Beam was just also like a pretty decent mid-ground click, so which is why I have it. Max speed, max special attack, just speed tank with Greninja and hitting as hard as possible. Also, this Torn speed, I think it's just creeping Jirachi, if I'm not wrong, because I don't seem to be super fast. I'm not sure what speed I hit. It's been a while. Actually, I can just check right here. 320. So I guess I'm creeping anything that was creeping. So it's pretty aggro creep. Anything creeping my Primeape, because obviously I have a huge speed gap drop from like Torn Greninja to Primeape. So I thought everything would just be modest or like adamant. So yeah, anything creeping Primeape, I creep is basically what I went for to give myself more bulk. Next up, I have Terrapagos with heavy duty boots. Pretty offensive, and we're running Rock Polish Combine, so Dual Dance. And Test Star Stomp Earth Power, which kind of hits his whole team. The only resist to Test Star Stomp is the Jirachi, which we hit with Earth Power. Combine just to like boost up if you get the opportunity, maybe on like I'm not sure if you will be able to get both off, but in the event you're able to, it can definitely go in. And boots just because I don't have removal on this team, so I don't want my Terra Shell broken. And yeah, and this way it can always try to. Basically, this is late game sweeper win con option, and it's pretty good here. Obviously, you can get revenge by Vacuum Wave, but I think Valiant needs to bring this pretty low for that to happen. Next up, I have Rocky Helmet Ting Lu, pretty like mixed defensive. Earthquake, Spikes, Heavy Slam, and Whirlwind. Earthquake hits pretty much everything on this team, right? and the resist is hidden by heavy slam. Uh, Whirlwind so that nothing can try to set up on us, and then spikes because spikes are good. Uh, and helmet was just to take like I felt like I would get knocked by. Oh, one it was to switch into like Jirachi because Jirachi can't really do much to us. So like if it wants to Iron Head a U-turn, it's gonna take helmet. And the other was like, oh, it's low kicks or something, and I have to swap it in. Helmet seems pretty nice. Next up, I have Obama Snow, Max HP, Max Defense with boots, so we don't take any rocks or spikes. And this is our Ogre Pawn Teal Pawn check, which did not come, so this is like pretty expendable. And we're running Blizzard, Aurora Whale, Ice Shard, and Leech Seed. Leech Seed because I don't expect the Ogre Pawn to stay in, so a Leech Seed can go a long way, like making subsequent switches easier, like what I want to go into after. Aurora Whale because Whale is just nice and like weakens the damage I take on stuff. Ice Shard just for priority, just get some chip before dying, and Blizzard, yeah, just to spam. And last I have Metagross, which is also mixed defensive, uh, and I'm running Agility, Psychic Fangs, Body Press, and Iron Defense. So I'm pretty sure there was a Dragalge on this as well, which is why I Psychic Fangs. And Agility, I believe after one Agility we outspeed the Greninja. And if I able to get an Iron Defense up, the Body Press actually does a lot of damage. It's really hard for him to stop. And obviously Psychic Fangs hits the Valiant and the Dragalge pretty hard. So this I don't think can win, but it can definitely put some pressure on his team to like where he's forced to take a lot of damage on things that like Jirachi or something, which can free up other mons on my team. So yeah, let's jump into it. I decided to lead Torn just to get my Terra off immediately so that I can switch into Valiant, because until I Terra, I don't really have a good switch into Valiant. Um, so I decided to do that. I lead Torn as he leads Low Kicks. Both of us Terra right away. Um, and I decided just U-turn out. If you wanted a first impression, so be it. But if he was gonna click knock, I didn't really want to take the knock, and I didn't think he would be Scarf here, so I didn't really scout. But again, if I find out he's Scarf, that's just like good info to have. So U-turn. I don't really have a good switch in here, so I'm just going to Tinglu to get like knocked off. Or if he clicked U-turn, I could get some helmet chip on him. I didn't really expect to leech life right away. As he does click the knockoff, it does a lot of damage, but he is down to half already, which is good for us. And here, I didn't want to take a leech life and get Tinglu more weakened, so I doubled back into Torn as he reveals to be a Life Orb. So I double into Torn as he switches into Donphan. So I was like, okay, I guess he didn't have leech life, or maybe he thought I would switch, but he gets me here. It's a good pivot for him, and I can't really hit this hard, so I just U-turn out. As he reveals to be Helmet, which is good info to have. And I go into Obama Snow. I don't really need it here because it doesn't. It was here for the Ogre Pawn, and the Ogre Pawn's not here. So I just go into Obama Snow as he clicks Stone Edge and misses, which sucks for him. It would have been good info for him. I don't think it would have done a lot because he's shown to be defensive, and I'm max defense plus no boost. But it would have been good info, right? And it can crit, so. Here, I know he's going to switch, so I just click Lead Seed expecting the Jirachi, but he actually goes into Electivire, which I was like, okay. I didn't really prep for this one because I didn't think it would come. So here, I decided to just go into Tinglu, thinking he would click like Flamethrower, but I didn't realize that this, because usually when I used it, I used to run like Cross Chop, so I didn't really cross my mind that he would run like Cross Chop. But he has Low Kick, which is a perfect mid round, right? So it hits my Tinglu pretty hard. But luckily, because of the Lead Seed, we're not too KO'd. And because he teared the Low Kicks, he doesn't have an Earthquake resist. So I decided to just get Earthquake. I just expected the Donphan to come in. So I figured if I click Earthquake, I get some chip on him. Spikes seemed like pretty like bad because the Donphan would just spin immediately on me because my helmet's knocked off. So, yeah, I decided to just click Earthquake as he does go into Low Kicks. So, maybe he predicted Ruination or, I mean, a Spike as well. Like, it was more of an aggressive play. Donphan would have been the defensive play. But I get him with the Earthquake and the low kicks is gone, which is really nice because he's lost one of his prio, um, and he's lost his knockoff. Well, he still has one knockoff, but or two actually. Electro, I guess, knockoff two now. But yeah, in comes the Greninja. I go into my AV Torn as he clicks Hydro Pump. Does 42, but this means we can take another one. So I believe it just clicks Sludge Bomb to do damage. As he goes into Jirachi, so I go into Tinglu, expecting rocks, as he just click rocks. And I believe I click Earthquake again. As he goes into Donphan this time, and we do decent chip, which is good to know. Like weakening this, which is always nice, because this is basically the thing that Metagross doesn't beat, so that's nice. I go into Abomasnow again as he Earthquakes for 11%. I believe I clicked Aurora Whale this time as he goes into Electivire again. And this time it's like, okay, low kick did 36 last time, so with Whale it'll do 18. I can still live, maybe depending on rolls, but he actually is also packing the Break. So good prep by him. He breaks our Whale and takes out our Tinglu. So I go into Metagross now thinking this might be a good option to Agility because I can always threaten the Weakness Policy. As he does go into Donphan as I click Agility. Here I click Iron Defense. I didn't know if he'd be Roar or not. Because in my head I thought he could be like Rapid Spin and then like Ice Shard or Ice Shard, could be Mega Horn, something like that, right? Like I didn't know if Roar was a given. So I decided to just Iron Defense. And because he was Helmet, I decided to Iron Defense again, just so like I don't take, so I Twit kill him and don't take too much like Helmet. But he does have Roar, but luckily we get roared into Greninja, which is really nice. As I'm able to click the free Dark Pulse here. His only Dark Resist is like Valiant and Gren, and like both of them are not like super sturdy. So Dark Pulse felt pretty free. I could have Ice Beamed, I guess, as well. But I just clicked Dark Pulse, get 28% of Gren, which is still pretty good chip. I go into Abomasnow now to instead of Torn, just because Torn was a little chip, plus it would take rock, so I figured Abomasnow was a better mid ground. As he does click U-turn, gets a crit, but I guess makes up for the Stone Edge miss. Goes into Valiant. Did I just? Oh, I go into Torn. On the Valiant, I wanted to keep my Abomasnow around. As he doubles into Jirachi, so good play by him. I swap into Gren because this could be Scarf Jirachi, and I figured he was either probably clicking Psychic move. So I go into Gren as he does click Psyshock, and here I click Dark Pulse again. Does 60%, but he's pretty bulky and Weakness Policy, so he's able to take us out with the Aura Sphere. And that sucks. But I go into Torn now. He is in range of Heat Wave, so I go for the Heat Wave. And this is AV Electivire, as I only do 18%. So that's pretty crazy. I guess this was his Torn check, like if I was like Terra, like flying specs, I guess. I decided to just knock off the Electivire because I know he's pretty spit out and not super invested. So I just knock it off as he clicks Volt, doesn't do a lot. And he goes into Donphan. I just go into Abomasnow. I don't U-turn because I don't want to take helmet damage. As he clicks Roar and pulls this out into Terapagos. Now here, even though I know he's revealed Roar, I decide to still click Rock Polish in case he decides to save this and go like Electivire on a sack or like decide to go Jirachi. So I go for a greedy Rock Polish as he does just stay into Roar, which is fine. As I go into Metagross, and I believe I just swap out into Abomasnow here on the Earthquake, take that pretty well. And here I believe I just fired off the Blizzard. Yep, as he goes into Electivire to stack it off. In comes the Valiant, and I go into Torn, keeping my Abomasnow around for later. As he clicks Close Combat, reveals to be a Life Orb, does a lot of damage, so I was like, dang. But I think this damage showed that he was like adamant, so I figured if he was adamant, he's probably creeping Primate, which means I could still be faster. So I believe I fire off the Sludge Bomb as he goes into Jirachi. I click the Heat Wave, and I actually don't kill, so I miscount. But he overpredicts and clicks Aura Sphere, so that works out for us. Because I believe I clicked U-turn now, but he makes a really good play to get Rocky Helmet chip on me. But I'm just going to Trap Ghost and click Starstorm this time, knowing he will not switch. So I just pick up the Donphan there because Donphan was a huge threat for the team. In comes the Jirachi. I don't really want to take the hit, so I just go into Abomas now. As he clicks Psyshock, which lets me pick this off with an Ice Shard. And things are looking pretty good. In comes the Greninja. I just click Shard to get some more chip. As he clicks Dark Pulse and takes us out. And he's Protean, so I just go into Torn, and I believe I sack off the Metagross just to get regen on Torn, so that it's healthy to check Valiant, which I figured was what it was going to come down to. And now I'm going to Trapagos. Basically, if the Greninja doesn't flinch me and I Rock Polish, I can pretty much win the game with just Starstorm twice. And so yeah, I just went for it. There's an 80% chance I don't lose. As he clicks Dark Pulse, doesn't flinch, and we're able to Rock Polish up. And Starstorm picks up the Grand. And in my head, I was like, okay, this is also pretty dead. But it lives on 1%. And it clicks Agility, so it's pretty bulky, I guess, and Life Orb. But because he has Life Orb, he cannot win. He can bring down the diff to 1, but because of the Life Orb, he dies to Recoil. And that's game. And we're able to win pretty fun, good game 1-0. GG's to Data. He prepped and played really well. And yeah, we start off on a pretty positive note. So yeah, that's good. And I'll be back with a round 2 in a bit. Alright, we're back with round 2. And our opponent is somebody named P is for Penguin. Who I didn't know at the time, but he's part of one of my friend group circles, with Kachurin and stuff, people I know. So he's a pretty nice guy, and I haven't played him before. I didn't really know how he was, but he seems pretty solid. And he has a draft of Great Tusk, King Gambit, which is Terra, Latios, Iron Crown, Vikavolt, Galarian Zapdos. He also had a Terra Moltres and a Quillfish on the bench. So this is a pretty interesting team. I don't know what I think about it. Latios without Terra is it's still strong, but I feel like it only fits on certain drafts. Iron Crown without Terra is also pretty it's okay. Some matchups it can just win because it's setup sets have insane high ceiling. But without Terra, it obviously lacks coverage to hit stuff. G Zapdos, I'm not really sure it's that good in this meta just because there's so many good fighting types. Obviously, there's already one on the team in Great Tusk, right? The best fighting type and the best ground type. So, yeah, King Gambit obviously fell off a bit. It used to be the King Terramon, but now it's fallen off. It's not really a round 1 pick anymore. And then obviously you have to prep for Vikavolt Webs. So yeah, let's jump into what we're bringing. Starting up, I have a Choice Scarf Torn with Terra Flying, and I'm Terra Blast so I don't miss, just to be reliable revenge. Heatwave hits the King Gambit before Terra, hits the Crown, hits the Vikavolt pretty hard. U-turn for momentum, and then Bleakwind Storm just for a stronger flying stab. This was just a way of revenging a Rapid Spin Tusk, Scarf Gyaptos, Scarf Latios. But I am running Modest, so again, I'm greedy. I'm only creeping things that are creeping Primate. So yeah, there's just ways of making sure we don't lose to Rapid Spin Tusk, basically. Next up, I have a Mystic Water Greninja with Dark Pulse, Surf, Shuriken, and Taunt. And with Battle Bond this game, Greninja is really, really strong. The water resist on this team is the Latios and Quillfish, which doesn't really count. And both of them don't really like Dark Pulse, so Greninja seems really, really strong. Shuriken's also pretty nice priority because it can out-prioritize Sucker Punch and make it fail. Can also pick up like Weakened Tusk, Weakened Crown, and stuff like that. Uh, and then obviously at +1, +1, +1, it's fast and everything. And like the damage is just really nice. I went with Taunt. I initially really wanted Grass Knot because I really thought the King Gambit would be Terra Water into this draft. And Grass Knot, as he Terra Waters, I thought would be so fire, like it did like 60 or something. I don't remember if it O-code, I don't think it did, but it definitely do a lot of damage, which you would not expect. Also, because if my Grand's at a good amount of health, the King Gambit cannot KO me because I resisted stabs technically. Um, so I thought Grass Knot and then like Water Shuriken would be really fire. But I talked to L5 and K Quick and they said this was like me overcooking and I should just run Taunt. So I ran lame Taunt, but you know, it would have been so fire if I was Grass Knot. Um, Next up, I have Tropicos with Boots again. This time I'm Rapid Spin because he does have a lot of hazards. Boots so we don't take anything and keep our Terra Shell. Max special attack, and then enough speed to outspeed like whatever his fastest one is. I think it was Lottie, so I could be pretty bulky this game. And then Terra Star Stomp, Flamethrower. Flamethrower hits the Crown and Gambit, which are the only resists. And Combine just for setting up. So pretty standard. Next up, Webting Blue with Choppleberry. Choppleberry was more for the King Gambit, like for the low kick, if it was SD low kick. And we're running Adamant just so we're not passive. And we have Earthquake, Ruination, Spikes, and Throat Chop. Throat Chop's just to hit like the Latios. Oh, and I'm also pretty fast, so that if I'm faster than the Vikavolt and I Throat Chop it, it can't Bug Buzz me, which would be pretty cool. And so then I wall the Vikavolt, which would be pretty funny. So yeah, that's the set. Spikes are pretty good, but obviously Tusk can come in and spin every time, so that's annoying. So Ruination, though, is a pretty good move to spam. Uh, Next up, I have Metagross with the Rocky Helmet. Pretty bulky, and it's Stealth Rock, Knockoff, Psychic, and Earthquake. Rocks, again, pretty good. Knockoff, also nice to get rid of items. Rocky Helmet, because this is going to be a Gapdos switch, which we don't have one on the team. Psychic Fangs hits the Gapdos and like hits the Tusk pretty hard. So basically here for that. And then last I have Primate with the Violate, Max HP, Max Defense. This is our King Gambit check because we don't have one otherwise. If it SDs, we can Encore it. Rage Fist, Drain Punch are just there. Rage Fist, just in case I get hit a lot, I can like Rage Fist will be boosted, which is nice. Drain Punch, just for recovery a little bit if I can, and then U-turn. Just to get momentum, especially if he tries to go with like Lottie or something, it can be really nice. So yeah, I believe I led Torn again. Oh no, this time I lead Ting Lu, as he does like Gapdos, and this is kind of scary, so I just switch out into Metagross right away. As he clicks Bulk Up, and I was like, oof, this is kind of scary. I think I just click Psychic Fangs. Oh, I just go for rocks. Maybe I should click Psychic Fangs as this was setting up in front of me, but like I guess if I was agility, I could be in trouble. But yeah, I don't click, so he CCs me twice and takes the Spit F drop. And like 2 rounds of Rocky Helmet, and because the Spit F drop, even if he has Koba, he dies to Terra Blast, so I just go for that. He has Koba, but that always died, so the Gapdos is gone. In comes the Gambit. It just going to Primate as I believe he Iron Heads me, and it does a lot of damage already, which is tough. But I believe I just clicked U-turn. Didn't expect the Gambit to stay in, and he does go Lottie, so it like works out perfectly for us because I can U-turn, and I go into Torn. I didn't want to go into Grunt in case this was Scarf, because then I didn't want to take a Draco. I could have gone Ting Blue, but that again felt like the more passive play. So I decided to just go into Torn and Terra Blast. But he is Scarf Lottie, and my greedy creep was wrong, and he is faster. So I was like, oh dang, this kind of sucks. But the only good thing I thought about this was he doesn't know that I'm Scarf, which could maybe be useful later. but he clicks Flip Turn, which means I do get a Terra Blast off on something, which turns out to be the Gambit, so it's not a lot of damage, but again, it's good chip though. This time I go Tinglu, because 2 Iron Heads would kill my Primate. As he clicks Iron Head and still does 25, so this Gambit is getting annoying. I click Ruination. If you wanted to SD, I could quick it next turn. But I get Ruination and get the Tusk, which I thought would be the expected switch in, so getting 50% of this is pretty nice. Also, the Gambit was revealed to be Terra Water. Yeah, sorry, this is like Terra Preview, but like it doesn't show the icons in the replay. But it was Terra Water King Gambit confirmed, right? So I get the Ruination off there. I don't really have a switch into this thing, so I decide to just Earthquake, thinking he might spin, but he does click Ice Spin, and that is a lot of damage. So I thought he might be banded. I'm not sure. But I decided to just sack off my Tinglu here because I don't have a switch in. And I just go into Greninja to get my Battle Bond, but he goes into Crown, and that does 22. Like, this is Mystic Water Surf. That is like max BDF AV on Crown out of the ass. Again, I don't really have a good switch into this, so I just stay in the Dark Pulse. And it only does 30%. That is a super effective stab move, and it did 30%. Like, this thing is so fat. He clicks Volt Switch, does half, and goes into Latios. Here, I still thought the Greninja could put in work, because I just need to get my Battle Bond up, and it goes crazy, especially since the Crown is now in range of Dark Bolt. Yeah, so I just figured going into Torn was better. I didn't want to lose my Terra Shell, and I didn't want to give up my speed, so I decided to just go Torn. If he clicks Draco, he clicks Draco, but he actually clicks the safer Aura Sphere, which works out for us, right? Because we know he's Scarf, so he's locked in here. I believe I just clicked U-turn, right? Yeah, I just get a free U-turn because I know he's Scarf and I am slower, so that works out for me. So just U-turn and go back into Grand, and I can get Dark Pulse off, get the KO, and get my Battle Bond up, which is pretty nice. In comes the Gambit to Revenge. I believe I just make the read that he's going to Terra and click Dark Pulse. But he is pretty SPDF, so it does 30%. And here, expecting the Sucker Punch, I swap. I do click Encore just to be safe, because I clicked U-turn last time. But he does go into Tusk. Here, I go for the Rapid Spin. I go for the Rage Fist, hoping I might be faster, but he is faster and is able to spin away the rocks, which is a little annoying. Not the end of the world, though. In comes Wickervolt. I decided just Rage Fist. Since this didn't come out earlier to set webs, I figured he was like some setup thing. Otherwise, like, you could have easily gone Latios, right, to kill this. So I just decided to click Rage Fist as he does Agility up. Here, I believed I clicked Encore just because if he clicks Agility, he would be faster than my whole team. Or if he tried to click like some other setup, like I could Encore him into that. But he clicks Thunderbolt. But because I'm Choice Scarf Torn, I am faster, and he doesn't know that because I miscrept my Torn. So I'm able to just go into it, Terra Blast, and take it out. In comes the Gambit. I believe I didn't care for the Sucker Punch. I think I lived anyway. And just Terra Blast, take him out. In comes the Latios. And here I figured his best play was to just go for Draco, like Draco Meteor crits. So my best bet was just sacking off the Greninja to a Draco, so that -2 and go Terrapagos and win. But he clicks the Luster Purge, and I know he's Scarf, so this is GG because I can just click Dark Pulse and take out the Latios. And we went this game 3-0. Again, pretty solid win. I feel like I like to prep, like Scarf, Torn, went in. And yeah, just a good start. Obviously, in a tour like this, you want to get early momentum because, you know, every loss makes it so you have one less opportunity to lose. So early on, you don't want to lose your buffer early on when you're more like still playing people who might be new or still figuring out the drafts in a way. Because obviously, every round you face technically a stronger opponent. So yeah, That's a nice 2-0, and I'll be back with our next battle in a bit. Alright, we're back with a round 3, and we're facing somebody named Steven Stone 007, which I think is a fantastic username, right? Steven Stone, the champion, 007 James Bond. It's pretty cool. Anyway, our opponent has a draft of Blastoise, Landorus-T, Weavile, Tinkaton, Ogerpon Wellspring, which is also his Terra Captain, and Slowking Galore. And I believe he had a Typhlosion and a Titan Terra Captain on the bench. Um, so obviously the Titan was a huge threat because, Chili Reception Glowking into Titan Belly Drum was super, super scary. And that could obviously influence prep, which since it's not here, obviously it looked like, the prep might not make sense, but there's a Titan on the bench and he's a threat. Otherwise, Ogerpon Wellspring is a huge pain for my team. Even though I have Obama Snow, if it gets chipped, Wellspring kind of beat the rest of my team. Mostly because the Torn, Gran, and Terapagos are mostly special attackers. So they're not able to inflict heavy damage on the Ogerpon once it tears, right? Because the speed F boost. And obviously, you can pick all of them off with Cudgel plus Horn Leech. And, obviously, Trailblaze is super scary as well. Weavile, also super annoying for my team. I don't really have a good switch in. Landorus-T, also super annoying in this matchup just because I need the Obama Snow for the Wellspring, which means the Landorus gets a lot better. And obviously the Glow King is kind of annoying because it kind of checks the Torn plus Terapagos. But yeah, let's jump into what we're bringing. Starting up, we have pretty fun Greninja, which is Big Nugget. And we're mixed attacking this week with Duck Pulse, Surf, Fling, Water Shuriken, and we also have Battle Bond. Fling, because this is just the strongest physical hit into the Ogerpon once it tears. And it can do a lot of damage, right? So it does about 60, I think, 55 or 60. So if you can chip the Ogerpon, or if it takes a Dark Pulse and then we can Fling and take it out, that'd be pretty cool. Or even if we get the Battle Bond without wasting our Fling and we just save the Fling for the Ogerpon, that can also be pretty huge because I think, Shuriken was just for the Weavile or Scarflando if I'm not able to get Battle Bond up. And Dark Pulse and Surf are just stab otherwise. Next up we have Obama Snow with Heavy Duty Boots. Max HP, Max Fist Staff for the Ogerpon. Wellspring, right? And we're running Aura Whale, Seed Bomb, Earthquake, Ice Shard. Seed Bomb because physical moves are better into Ogerpon. Earthquake hits the Tinkaton and Glow King. And Shard was just for chip as well as hit the Endo. And then Whale just seemed nice in general. Next up, I have Metagross with Air Balloon and a pretty offensive set this week. And we're running Flash Cannon, Heavy Slam, Ice Punch, and Psychic Fang. The balloon helps us versus the Titan, unless he's a Terra type, which is Ghost or Dark or something. Because if he's only Crash, Earthquake, Ice Shard, our Metagross should be able to live a hit, right? Unless he punches us. And then if he doesn't Terra because he wants to save the Terra for Ogerpon, which I think he should, Flash Cannon does a lot of damage because the Titan's Spit F is pretty bad. And Heavy Slam is also pretty strong in general. Does a lot of damage to everything. Psychic Fang's the same thing. Hits the Blastoise pretty hard, which is the only resist to Heavy Slam. And then Ice Punch is for the Lando. And then Air Balloon also helps with the Lando, right? You can switch in hard on it if needed. So yeah, this again definitely puts pressure and makes it hard for him to switch into. Next up, I have Ting Lu with Leftovers, mixed defensive again, and we're running Spikes, Ruination, Earthquake, Rocks. It's a pretty good switch in into the Glow King. Also pretty decent switch into Tinkaton, and Typhlosion if it came. And then Spikes are good because his removal is Blastoise, so if you smash Blastoise, he's not removal. Ruination, obviously good chip, and then Earthquake hits Tinkaton, Weavile, and also Rocks because we're not Rocks on Metagross, so just Hazard Setting Bot. Next up, I'm torn with Choice Scarf, Terra Water, just because Water seemed like the best neutral type, even though it's pretty bad into Ogerpon. but it's decent into Lando, Blastoise, Weavile, and the Titan. Um, and basically, the hope was that if I'm bringing this in on Ogerpon, it is to foul play. Like it is basically in range of foul play, so I can pick it off. And Heatwave was for the Weavile plus Tinkaton and Titan. Bleakwind Storm is stab, and then U-turn for momentum. In enough speed for Ogerpon, because if it is SD Trailblaze Ogerpon, I wanted a way to revenge it. And then last, we have Boots Terapagos with enough speed to outspeed Weavile at +1. Rapid Spin, Terra Starstorm, Earth Power, and Calm Mind. The only Terra Starstorm resist is Tinkaton, so which Earth Power hit. And then again, same business as usual. If I'm able to Calm Mind, I can kind of go in. So let's jump into this game. I led with the Torn as he leads with the Ogerpon. I figured Torn could be a really good lead and sniping something turn 1, or if it was like the Tinkaton, I can U-turn into Tinglu, like if it's Balloon or something. It just felt a pretty good neutral lead. He leads the Ogerpon, so I decided not to Terra yet. And I just U-turn to get chip on it and go into Abomas now. If he wants to click SD, I can Seed Bomb it. And if he wants to click like Cudgel or Horn Leech, we resist or Trailblaze. And if he clicks U-turn, then he clicks U-turn. So yeah, I go into Abomas now as he does click Horn Leech, doesn't do a lot. And I believe I immediately set up the Whale, thinking he's going to switch, as he does. Oh, sorry, I just click Earthquake, I guess, predicting the Tinkaton. But the Weavile comes in, so it's like, oh. And Weavile like abusing our own snow, which is kind of annoying. Here I click Whale. Not sure what he was going to do. I thought he might click Knock, but he actually reveals the SD, so I was like, dang, this is scary. I click Seed Bomb, do a decent amount of damage. As he clicks Low Kick and does a decent amount of damage too. And here, expecting him to click Low Kick again, I actually make the aggressive pivot into Torn. As he clicks Low Kick, which doesn't do anything. And here I can just Terra in case he wanted to click Ice Shard. I click Heatwave, revealing I am Scarf, but we're able to pick up the Weavile, which was a huge threat and something we don't switch into. In comes the Lando, so I go into Metagross, which is Balloon, because there's no Titan, so I don't really need the Balloon. As the Lando clicks Rocks, which is really good, because I predict the Blastoise to come in and click Psychic Fangs, which does a decent amount of damage. And here I click Psychic Fangs again, as he goes into the Tinkaton, revealing to be Balloon. We do crit the Psychic Fangs, which is a little unfortunate for him, as he goes for the Thunder Wave, but I click Heavy Slam and take him out. I think the Psychic Fangs crit mattered. So that's a little unfortunate for him. Like, sorry for my opponent. I think without it, I don't think Heavy Slam killed, but I would have put him pretty low, which is good, but it wouldn't have killed, so he might have been able to knock me off or like foul play if he had it. I don't know. But yeah, really unfortunate for him. He goes into Lando. I decided to stay in and click Ice Punch. I do live and don't get flea paired. So I take out the Lando too. So Metagross has just taken out 2 mods. We're up 6-3. In comes the Ogerpon, which is a huge threat. I didn't want him to SD, although he could have been greedy and fished for Para. But I decided to just go for Psychic Fangs. As he clicks Cudgel, takes me out, which is fine. I go into Abomas now again. I don't remember if I clicked Whale or Seed Bomb. Oh, I clicked Whale again, so I guess if he SDs, this covered that. In comes Glow King, so I just go into Tinglu as he clicks Thunder Wave. So another Thunder Wave, and I mean, I hate this. Like, Thunder Wave spam is so annoying in SV. Like, hello. Like, can they just put Heal Bell back? I click Earthquake here. He doesn't really have a good resist. Oh, I just click Rocks first, expecting Chilly Reception. But I click Rocks, and I believe this turn I clicked Earthquake as he goes Blastoise finally. And here, expecting like a spin, I'm going to. I expected spin here, right? Like get rid of the rocks for Ogerpon. So I go into Greninja to kind of abuse that. But he actually reveals the rest, which is like really, really, really annoying. I didn't really expect that, so good prep by him. But yeah, that kind of put a dent in my plans for sure. So I'm forced to go into Torn now as he clicks Rapid Spin finally. Here I decide to just click Bleakwind Storm to get chip on the Blastoise, but he makes the good play and goes into Glow-King. I go Tinglu again as he Chilly Receptions and goes into Ogerpon. And here he can SD for free. Um, so I just go hard Obama Snow as he does SD, which is a little annoying. I click Ice Shard because I know I die here. So he cudgels and takes me out. And I was like, okay, this is a little annoying. But as long as I foul play him, he, like, if I do decent damage, he's not going to heal enough to be out of range of Fling. And then I can Fling, take this out, and then I can start clicking Dark Pulse versus the rest of the team. And then Terapagos plus Tingler should be able to win. So I go for foul play. And I do 69%, which is absolute mineral, I believe. So that was a little unfortunate. Like, I get the mineral, and he takes me out with Horn Leech, obviously, and he goes to 57, and I was like, dang, I wanted him to be around 55, which is what I thought Fling would do, just to be safe. But I was like, okay, we can Fling right here. And I do 53, which has another min roll, like 2 min rolls back to back, because he shared his spread with me after, because I was curious. And these two were absolute min rolls. But yeah, he lives on 4, and heals back up. And I was like, okay, there's still a chance if Terapagos can kill this, right? So I Rapid Spin here, obviously, because I have to be faster as he Horn Leeches. And he actually gets a higher roll, which heals him more health than needed. While I get another low roll with the Rapid Spin. It was not a mid roll, but it was definitely a lower roll. Like, does 16 to 18 point something. So I guess it's a mid roll, huh? But Telstar Stomp, again, this was the roll. I don't get it. And he clicks Horn Leech, and I just get reversed by the Ogerpon, which is pretty tragic. Like, but you know, what can you do? Like, getting 4 min / low rolls back to back. Just unfortunate, and we do lose to Ogerpon, as I knew it would be a problem. Obviously, in hindsight, maybe I should have been Terra Steel Torn, so that he couldn't Horn Leech me, right? He's forced to Cudgel, which would keep him low, and which allowed my Grunt to just take him out, and then I can win. But yeah, unfortunately, we take our first loss of this tour, 2-1. And obviously, this means we can only afford to lose one more time before we're back. After which, it's basically sudden death every game, which is, you know, really annoying and stressful. But yeah, hopefully we can bounce back next round, which I'll be back with in a bit. Alright, we're back with a round 4 matchup, and we're playing somebody named Hedja, who has a team of Masquerada, Quackawall, so double starters, Raging Bolt, which is the Terra Captain, Tinkerton, Monkey Dory, I believe this one is called, which was also a Terra Captain, and Moltres. And there was a Landris-T and a Grafai on the bench. So this team was really, really annoying because Raging Bolt is super scary. It's one of the best Terra Captains in the format right now. Masquerada, similarly, super, super annoying. It's pretty fast, physical, knockoff, like Flower Trick, Triple Axle with Protean, pretty annoying. Quackawall can steamroll as well if you're not careful. Yeah, this is a pretty annoying team. But yeah, let's just jump into what I brought. Starting up, we have a Citrus Berry, Max Bidaf Tinglu for the Raging Bull. I expected the Raging Bull to be like Terra Water into us, because it also helps versus the Gren. So, and then it'll have Terra Blast with the Tinglu, which does a lot of damage with, like, if it's booster, special attack, and then like Calm Minds as we switch. So Citrus Berry was just to help us live 2. Oh, and then like Wolvended out, and then Rocks, Ruination, Earthquake, just standard Tinglu stuff. Next up, we have a Sugarberry, Metagross, just because Landorus was super annoying. And we have Agility, Psychic Fangs, Rock Slide, and Heavy Slam. I believe it was if we can chip the Lando enough, or with the Sugar Berry, we can live 2 and heavy slam it twice and take it out. Psychic Fangs hits the Kokoi Ball, hits the Terra Water Raging Bolt pretty hard. Uh, and then Rock Slide was for the Moltres. And yeah, pretty offensive just to like break the team, maybe get like a couple of kills can be pretty nice. Next up, Greninja with Expert Belt. Um, and I went Modest, I believe. Yeah, because his team was pretty slow, right? Yeah, because obviously Masquerada's going to be faster than me anyway, and I expected Scarf Masquerada anyway for the Balbon Grant. So I just went Protean, uh, Expert Belt. Specs was considered, but I thought switching up moves was a lot better. And I don't like running Life Orb, so I just went Belt. So Stab hits pretty much everything. Sludge Wave, Ice Beam hits the Masquerada. And Extra Sensory was for the Quick Wave. Um, so yeah, that's just to hit everything and do as much damage as possible. Next up, a Rocky Helmet, Terra Poison Torn, with like super bulky defensive. Um, this is a Masquerada check, right? Like once we get knocked off, Masquerada doesn't really have a way of doing a lot of damage to us. And then same way, Sludge is pretty solid, especially if we get poisons. Heat Wave is for the Tinkerton. Bleak Wind Storm is for just general, like also hits the Quack and like the Moltres and stuff, and knock off to get rid of items. Next up, we have a Boots Terrapagos with Rapid Spin, Calm Mind, Terra Starstorm, Earth Power. Pretty similar Terrapagos to what we've been running. Um, yeah, and like if it gets set up, it can definitely win. And last we have a Fist Death Obama Snow with Ice Shard, Giga Drain, Blizzard, Earthquake. I think this was a Lando check, if I'm not wrong. Maybe it was a Quaquavel check too, but I don't remember. Um, but yeah, it's just max fist F, so I guess it's just like another pivot if possible, and just do like decent damage if possible. So yeah, let's jump into the game. I'd say lead Torn just to get my Terra off. This leads Moltres, and I figured if he was Specs lead, it could be annoying, so I go for the knockoff. Because I should live any other thing from this anyway. As he goes for the Fire Blast, and he gets the crit turn 1, is I click knockoff and get burned. So this is not optimal at all. My Torn is basically dead, which kind of sucks. So here I decided to go Greninja because I wasn't sure what he would click. But he clicks U-turn and gets another crit, which basically means my top 2 mods are basically out for commission. Which happens. This is not the end of the world. He U-turns and goes into Masquerada. So I go into Obama Snow where he can freely U-turn once again, and go into Moltres and Flamethrower. Um, and this time I thought he might U-turn again, so I just stay in. I didn't really have a good switch into this, so I decided to just give him the Obama Snow. I go into Grand and click Ice Beam. I think I expected the hard Raging Bolt, but he actually goes Tinkerton, and he used to be pretty spit off, so that's really unfortunate. Again, I don't really have a good switch in here, so I just Surf. It only does 17%, so yeah, this is a pretty spit off Tinkerton. And now I switch into Tingaloo because I expected the Gigaton to come out. But he actually clicks knockoff, so good play by him. I believe I clicked Ruination here, or did I just get up my rocks? I get my rocks as it goes Quaquavel. As I go Metagross, because I should live Aqua Step into Aqua Step, but he just clicks Rapid Spin, which is fine. I believe I clicked Agility here as he goes into Moltres. And I click Rock Slide now. Take out the Moltres, so that's at least one threat gone. In comes the Raging Bolt. I believe that just Psychic Fangs it. Decent damage as he bolts out, which is fine. In comes the Masquerada. I just go for the Heavy Slam. But he clicks the Sucker Punch, and I was like, oh, dang, I wish I was Colbert at this point, because then Colbert, the Heavy Slam, would have taken this out, I think. Or at least put this in range of, like, Actually, I don't really have priority, so I don't know what it would be in range of, but I feel like I would have done a lot of damage from Metagross, which would be nice. Um, I'm going to Torn now, and then double into Tinglu on the knock just to get regen. And I think I double back. No, I just stay in. I guess I get rocks up again. As it goes Quick Wobble again, and I click Earthquake as I click Whirlwind as it goes into Raging Bolt. So I go for the Earthquake now. And he reels to be Fizz Step Quick Wobble, so good prep by him. He clicks Aqua Step. I believe I just clicked Whirlwind. Oh, I clicked Ruination. Uh, and he clicks Roost. So yeah, he's Fizz Step Quick Wobble. Uh, which is really good prep. He clicks Play Off and misses here, so we get some justice back and are able to chip the Tinkerton down, which is really good, which means the Grand can now finally take it off. Take it out. I click Surf here as he goes into the Raging Bolt, so good prep by him. Good play by him. Here I think I went for Dark Pulse, but he does reveal the Thunderclap. What sucks, but what can you do? I click Rapid Spin here as he clicks Draco, which still does 35 through Terra Shell, so that's strong. I clicked Star Storm, but he reveals to be AV and also has Body Press, so again, really good prep. I'm able to click Rapid Spin to take him out. He doesn't click Thunderclap, which is nice. I click Star Storm now, but it's not enough to kill the Quack, so he's able to take us out with close combat, and this game is over because my Torn's too low. I go for the Sludge Bomb, get the KO, but at this point I can't really kill the Monkey Dory, which comes in, and he clicks Psychic and takes us out, and we lose 3 now. Even though it was Haxy at the start, I don't think I could have won this. I just think I got out prepped. To be honest, maybe I had a chance if the hacks didn't happen, but I feel like I still lost. Like I just didn't prep well. So good prep by him. And this was actually the replay I used to vouch for Hedge, and he actually ended up being my teammate in the Draft Champions League Season 2. And spoiler, my team didn't make playoffs, but Hedge went 3-1. So huge shout outs to him. He had a good breakout season. So my second season scout also worked out pretty well. My first season scout was obviously Scribble, who went 5-2 for us, I think, last season, and then Hedja was my second season 2 scout, and he went 3-1. So even if I might be washed, at least my scouting skills are still on point. But yeah, well played to him. He actually cooked me. So yeah, GG's, well played to my opponent. And obviously now we're in a tough spot. We're 2-2. Any loss, every game is sudden death, knockout, whatever you want to call it. If I lose, I'm out. Which surprisingly took some pressure off, right? Because at this point I was like, oh, I didn't think I'd make top cut. So I was like, I'm basically just trying to win as many games as I can to just maximize the number of points I get. But it kind of took off the pressure off of making top cut, which was kind of a relief because DCL was coming, and I wanted to be fresh for that, not burnt out or stressed. So that was good. So yeah, I'll be back with our round 5 in a bit. Alright, we're back with our round 5, and we're up against Alex, who I believe is a pretty big Lana Del Rey fan. So I switched up my nickname team from Friends to Lana Del Rey songs for this game. Anyway, our opponent has a draft of Iron Valiant, Cinderace, Sableye, Toxapex, Cycloizar, Skarmory. He also had the Darkrai, which he benched, which is crazy. Hello? Not bringing Darkrai versus Darkrai is insane. Maybe he knew. Maybe he knew opposing Darkrai would not do anything to me, So, respect, maybe. I don't know. But he benched the Darkrai. That's crazy. He also had a Terra Esbatra, and and his other Terra Captain is the Toxapex, so pretty interesting Terra Captain choices. This is a pretty interesting team. I don't know what to think about it. Personally, I don't think it's that strong. It's just Iron Valiant. But obviously, Esbatra can just, it's a noob killer mon, right? It can win games on its own. So, yeah, let's jump into our prep. Signing up, we have a Mirror Herb, Torn-T, Terror Dark, um, super speedy. I believe it was for the Cinderace. Yeah, with max speed this time. Super bulky though. You know we gotta run the Theo Torn, right? With the 232 HP on deck. Anyway, we're running Nasty Plot, Bleak Windstorm, Sludge Bomb, and Terra Blast. The Bear Herb is actually, this is gonna be our hard switch in into Espatra. So if it clicks Calm Mind, we get the Mirror Herb boost, which is pretty good because that is important. And then we can plot up and Terra, obviously, and then we're immune to stored power, which is good. Dazzling will not do as much uh, if he runs like Terra Fairy or whatever. So that's why the Spinef boost would be huge. And then we have both Dark move and Poison move in case he's like Terra Fairy, and if he's not, then we can just Terra Blast. In hindsight, I should have been Dark Pulse. I forgot Torn got Dark Pulse, but I ran Terra Blast. But yeah, that's the idea. Like it's our Espatra check. It's also pretty decent into Darkrai, right? Darkrai has to Focus Blast to do damage to us. Um, and then this way we can also plot up on the Sableye, which can't do anything to us because Dark types are immune to Prankster. So that's why we can plot up and try to like beat past this team. Next up, we have Greninja with Choice Specs. Just because his switch-ins are not great, and we're running Extra Sensory, Dark Pulse, Surf, and Water Shuriken. Uh, Especially if the Pex Terra is out of like a water, like it becomes a neutral water type. Surf goes crazy, right? Like he has no resist. Like Cyclosaur is not a resist. Um, so yeah, Shuriken is just to pick off like Darkrai, Espatra, Cinderace, or Valiant. Um, and Specs was just the maximum damage I could afford. So yeah. Next up, we have Terrapagos with Power Herb. So we're finally switching up our set. We're running Meteor Beam, Thunderbolt, Terra Star, some Rapid Spin. Um, this is gonna be our dedicated lead. We should not die to anything, right? And uh, if he U-turns with Cinderace into Sableye to block like Rapid Spin, I can click Meteor Beam, get the boost on Sableye, and then it's really hard for Sableye to like, uh, what do you call it? To like 1v1 Terrapagos, because that's the main threat, right? Like I was initially Mental Herb, so I could be like Rapid Spin, Calm Mind, or something, but I didn't feel as consistent, and I also felt like I didn't have moves. So Meteor Beam just felt better, and then Thunderbolt hits the Skarmory plus Toxapex, and Terra Star Storm hits everything else. And Spin is just to get rid of hazards or get a speed boost, right? Next up, Tinglu. Also, the speed is enough to outspeed Darkrai +1. Next up, we have Tinglu with the Max Pidef. This is our Darkrai check. Also, our Espatra soft check. Because we have Whirlwind, Ruination, Earthquake, Spikes, just to standard Tinglu again. And Lefties for longevity. And next up, we have Metagross with Akaberry, because we didn't really switch into Cinderace that well. And we're running Bullet Punch, Earthquake, Psychic Noise, and Thunder Punch. I think Bullet Punch, Earthquake, and Thunder Punch are pretty self-explanatory. Hits everything, does decent damage, and the Psychic Noise is just to prevent the Skarm and the Toxapex from roosting or like recovering, because I should be faster than both, hopefully. And clicking Psychic Noise blocks the roost, blocks the recover, and it can keep them low, which would be nice. And then last, I have a Sticky Hole Castaberry Swallow with Thunderwave knockoff, Sludge Bomb, and Destiny Bond. This is gonna be our Iron Valiant switch-in because our Metagross might not be around. Because if the Cinderace comes in on our Metagross, I'm gonna take the trade because I don't really switch into Cinderace. So yeah, that's the team. Let's jump into the game. As I said, I was gonna lead Terrapagos as he does lead the Cinderace. Here, I really expected U-turn into Sableye, so I decided to go for the Meteor Beam, not realizing that he actually has a better play, which is to click High Jump Kick, because this covers like I'm not really gonna click Test Starstorm into like a U-turn into Sableye, right? Like it just feels, I don't know. I feel like it's not the best click, And this way, if I click like uh, Meteor Beam or whatever, he resists it and he breaks this, and then next turn he can kill me. Or if he's bulky, right, and he lives the Terra Star Storm unless I'm specs, he also lives and just kills me with high jump kick. So I didn't really consider this line of play, so I just go for the Meteor Beam, but he actually misses, so it works out for us. And here I can just rapid spin as he does stay in to break the Tesha. Oh, I just go for Thunderbolt because I thought he might save the Cinderace now, because spin was so free, but yeah, he doesn't. He goes Sableye now, which was a little confusing. So I go Thunderbolt. Um, I really thought he would just go Valiant to pick me off, but maybe he's boost to energy. He clicks Thunder Wave after clicking Light Screen. Not the end of the world. I can just start spamming moves. It's not the end of the world. He clicks Reflect, and once he revealed Reflect, Thunder Wave, Light Screen, I figured he was no Recover. So I make an aggressive play and click Test or Stomp expecting a swap. And that's what happens as he goes Cyclizer and takes 75%, which is really good. And here I believe I click Test Star Stomp again and take out the Cyclizer as well. So that's 2 kills for lead Trapagos, which is nice. In comes Toxapex, I just go for Thunderbolt. It does 25, so this bulky Pex. Thunderbolt again, just trying to get chip as he gets T spikes up. I've been pretty lucky with no para, but I decided to spin now that he's at 2. As he clicks Chilling Water, which is fine. I finally get paired as he takes me out with the Chilling Water. I go into Torn and click Plot as he goes into Sableye. And here I can Terra just so he can Thunder Wave me, as he does go for the Encore, which I'm immune to, so I'm taking him out with Sableye. I take out the Sableye with Terra Blast. In comes the Pex. I click Terra Blast, but he is Pedef, so he's able to chew that and just haze us out. And then I realized that this is a losing battle. That he has more PP than Plot, so I actually cannot beat him this way. But I can force recovers, hopefully, right? And there's only 8 recovers, so maybe I can still, if I play it correctly, I can beat him. I go for the Bleak Wind now because it's slightly stronger. I do hit, but he's able to haze me off again. So just go Swalot to Thunder Wave so that I can. Oh, first I knock off the lefties, okay, which makes sense to make its longevity not as good. As he clicks Chilling Water, which is fine, and now I click Thunder Wave, just to fish for pairs, right? Like yes, just like that. And now I'm going to do Tingaloo as it clicks Chilling Water again, which is fine. And I start setting up hazards as he sets up another T-Spike. And now Earthquake does 38 as he sets up another T-Spike. As I set up my own spikes. And now I'm going to Swallow as he sets up rocks, which is fine. But he also reveals Sign Defense. I was like, oh. But I just parried the Scarm and then knock him off as he gets fully paired. And now I'm going to Ting Blue to hopefully whirlwind him out. But he actually just Iron Defenses again, and I was like, dang, I clicked. I'm not sure why I clicked Whirlwind. I feel like I should have just clicked Ruination and then gone into Torn or Grant to take this out. But I make a misplay and click Roar as he just body presses and takes me out. But I go into Specs Grind and just click Surf, which does so much damage, but it's not enough for the KO. So this is why it felt like a misplay. I should have clicked Ruination, so Grand would have taken it out. Which would have also allowed me to click Dark Pulse actually instead of Surf, but we live and we learn, right? But this is weakened, so I can just Terra Blast to take it out. In comes Steve Valiant, and he reads to be booster special attack. So I was like a little confused. I didn't know if he messed up his like EVs or something. But this died to my Torn, so I just clicked Sludge Bomb to take him out. Even if he didn't, it would have put in Bullet Punch range, which was nice. So that's the end of Valiant. In comes the Pex, so I can just plot up again. I Terra Blast now, expecting the haze, but it gets fully paired. So I can click Terra Blast again. I do get a crit as he hits me this time, but that should be enough for the KO. And we're able to win 3-0. This was slightly hacksy. Obviously, turn one was really bad for my opponent. Then the couple of pairs were pretty annoying too, and my Terapagos didn't get paired. So I definitely got lucky, and I'm just living the lucky and bad title. Um, but I feel like some of her prep was pretty good. Like the Torn was pretty good. I should have just been Dog Pulse over Terra Blast, but I just completely forgot it had Dog Pulse. Um, but yeah, we're able to win 3-2, get some more points. We stay alive. We live to fight another day. And so I'll be back with a round 6 in a bit. Alright, we're back with a round 6 game. And our opponent is somebody named Weasel Lord, who I don't know who they are. And they have a team of Greninja, Cleavor, Mammoth Swine, Skeleturge, which is the Terra Captain, Iron Hands, and G Weezing. There was also a Terra Goldengo, which was surprisingly left on the bench, and an TORNADUS-T. Again, I'm not really sure what to think of this team because I don't really rate Cleavor because Cleavor is so ugly. Terra Skeletor used to be pretty good, but has fallen off due to there being better Terra captains. And Terra Goldengo is like alright, but it's like not the scariest Terra guy. But I definitely expected him here, right? But kind of weird to not see him. Hands is pretty decent. Also fallen off a bit recently just because there's so many good fighting types in the meta. GB is pretty solid, good typing, and then obviously Greninja is a huge threat. So yeah, without much further ado, let's jump into a team. Starting up, we have leftovers Terra Water Torn, with pretty Spadef because this is our Skeletor check. Also Greninja check. I guess it can take on Enam hits as well. And we run Nasty Plot, Terra Blast, Bleakwind Storm, and Sludge Bomb. It can definitely do damage with Plot, and helps us break the team up a little easier because we're not really invested. And we should be able to get opportunities to Terra on Gren or Goldengo, even Mamoswine, or G Weezing, right? Terra Blast Water hits the Mamoswine, hits the Cleavor, hits the Skeleturge if it doesn't Terra. The Sludge Bomb hits the Enam, hits like the Iron Hands pretty decently. If it is Terra Fairy, Goldengo, or Skeleturge, it's good for that. Getting poisoned hits the Gren pretty decently. The Bleakwind Storm's just stab. I believe it was just enough speed for the Cleavor because his team is pretty slow. The fastest one is Gren, and then it's base 85 of Cleavor. Next up, I have Tinglu, Max Spadef. This is a Goldengo check. And we run Earthquake, Ruination, Whirlwind, and Spikes. Some pretty standard Tinglu once again, right? Get in, set hazards, phase things if needed. Ruination is pretty decent. Next, we have Metagross with the Sugar Berry. And we are running max HP and then a bunch of attack. And we're running knockoff, Psychic Fang, Stealth Rock, Blood Punch. Blood Punch is pretty nice to pick up Cleavor and Mamoswine. Psychic Fangs is just decent stab knockoff to get out of items. Also hits the Goldengo pretty hard. We don't really touch Greninja with this, but we're not really staying in on Gren. And then Rocks, because Rocks are good. This is also our Enam switch in, I think, the first time. Next up, we have Terapagos, which is slightly different this time. We're running Terra Starstorm and Earth Power with Calm Mind still, so that we can try to 1v1 some stuff, maybe like the Enam. But we're running Toxic so that we can Toxic the Skeleturge to chip it down. Didn't really, and I figured Rapid Spin would get blocked, so I didn't really bother with Spin. So yeah, that's this time slightly different. We still boots because we don't have removal, so we want to keep our Terra Shell intact. Next up, we have Greninja with an Expert Belt. Protean again. I'm running Surf, Extra Sensory, Dark Pulse, and Sludge Wave. This coverage hits the entire team. Extra Sensory hits the hands and Wheezing. Uh, except Gren. We don't really hit Gren that hard. Sludge Wave hits the Enam and also hits Gren the hardest. Dark Pulse hits the Golden Ghost Color Dodge, and then Surf hits the Cleaver Mammothswine. And Expert Bell just because we hit most things super effectively. And next up, we have Swallow with the Rocky Helmet. Max defense, basically, because this is our check to Iron Hands. If it tries to click Drain Punch, it's going to take Rocky Helmet plus Liquid Ooze, which is really nice. And then we have Toxic Spikes. Knockoff, because knocking out items is good. Poison Jab. And then Source Dance was just in case. I couldn't think of a better move, so I just put it on. So, yeah, let's jump into the game. Once again, I was just going to lead Torn just to get my Terra off, as he does a Mammothswine. So I'm able to just Terra and click Terra Blast. As he just clicked the Icicle Crash. It doesn't do anything, which is really nice. And here, I believe I clicked Terra Blast again as it goes into hands. Doesn't do a lot of damage, but I'm just going to swallow it because I didn't really think he would click Earthquake into the Torn. He just clicked Drain Punch, does take Liquid Ooze, does take Helmet, so that's a lot of damage. Is I just clicked Toxic Spikes, wasn't sure if he'd stay in or if he would swap. He goes into Wheezing, and I go into Tinglu instead of Torn for some reason, as he clicks Wisp and he misses. And I was like, I don't really know why I did it. I believe it was a misclick, but I'm not 100% sure because this game was like ages ago. Yeah, it was in August, right? In October. But I believe I misclicked, so I meant to go Torn because they're right next to each other. But luckily, he misses, so I stay lucky and bad. I get going to Torn now as he whisked me, which doesn't matter. I believe I just clicked Terra Blast just to see damage. As he clicks Defog, which is a little annoying at the end of the world. Here, I think I just plotted up. No, I just Terra Blast again, trying to whittle down the Wheezing. He clicks Strange Steam, doesn't do a lot. I finally clicked Plot, but he makes the read into Iron Hands this time, and I was like, this is annoying, so I go into Swallow. As he clicks Fake Out, so I guess this was AV, but he just takes more Helmet Chip. I click Knockoff now to get rid of his AV. As he volts out, doesn't do a lot. In comes the Mammothswine. I just go hard into Metagross because I have my Chicoberry. Yep. And here I click Bullet Punch as he does go into Skeleton Dirge. And I just click Knockoff to get rid of its boots, which is what I expected, as he just burns me, which is fine. I set up rocks in its face, as I know he's going to slack off because he doesn't want to be too low. And I'm going to Torn expecting the Torch Song, but he actually clicks Hex, which is a little annoying, but not the end of the world. He Terra Waters now, as I click Sludge Bomb and get the immediate poison, which is pretty big. Because now he's going to be whittled down for sure. I go into Terrapagos as he clicks Slack Off again, I believe. Yep. And now I can start firing off Terra Starstorm. Oh, actually, I just doubled back into my Torn expecting Torch Song. But he doubles into hands, so that's a little annoying. But we could go back into Swallow and get more regen on Torn as he clicks Fake Out again, takes more Helmet. We click Poison Jab, it doesn't kill. As he clicks Earthquake, takes us out. I can just go Terrapagos, Terra Starstorm, pick up the hands. In comes Cleavor. I believe I sacked off the burnt Metagross. As he clicks Stone Axe, gets up his rocks, which is fine. I think I went for Bullet Punch, yeah, to get Chip, because he revealed to be non-boots. Takes us out with Stone Axe, which is fine. I go into Torn to click Terra Blast as he sacks off Mammothswine, which is fine. In comes the Skeleton Dirge again, so I go for the Bleak Wind this time. Does 38. As he does click Torch Song, but as long as I don't miss, he is in range thanks to the poison. So I click Bleak Wind, I don't miss, and the Skeleton Dirge is gone, which is huge. In comes the Cleavor. I figured this was Scarf the way he brought it in, so I just sack off Tingle at this point because it's not Gold Dingo, so this is expendable. Although I have to be careful of this Cleavor because Scarf is scary. But I go into Torn because now I live because to regen. But he crits me and I die, and the crit 100% mattered. My Torn lived. It was super bulky, as you saw. And this is scary because I wanted to keep my Terra Shell intact for Gren because I don't know what it is. But having to break it to Cleavor is a little unfortunate. Um, but that's Mons, right? And in my head, I thought I was going to lose to this Gren now because I didn't have my Terra Shell. He clicks Dark Pulse, he has Life Orb, but luckily he doesn't flinch us, and we're able to take him out with Terra Starstorm. And then we can pick up the Weezing with Terra Starstorm as well. And Terrapago's coming clutch again. This is the second time it did not get flinched by Gran. There are 2 times it could have been flinched by Gran and lost, and both times Terrapagos did not get flinched to give us the win. So that's pretty pog. And we moved to 4-2. So, we're still alive, still kicking, getting more points. And basically, that was my whole mindset at this point, that I'm just trying to win and, you know, get as many points as possible. So yeah, I'll be back with a round 7 game in a. Hello, we're back with a round 7 game. Again, somebody named Mukshuk. I don't know who they are as well. But they're 4-2, so they've been doing pretty decent, and they have another Ogre Pond Wellspring, which was the reason for our first defeat. And a pretty similar comp as well with the Lando-T and Vival, which was also, I think, in the other game. Or what? It was not Vival, it was the Titan, but kind of similar. And then they have a Primarina, a Scizor, a Latias. And they also had a Lycanroc midday with Terra and Masquerain. So it's pretty much a top 6 team, which is, what most teams should be, in my opinion, like top 6 and top 7. And yeah, pretty, like the top 2 are pretty scary. Vival's also pretty decent into a team. Prim scary, Latias can be scary, Scizor as well. Like, pretty decent team. Obviously, the Wellspring is the biggest threat, and we've learned a lesson. And this time, we're running a Rocky Helmet Torn with pretty fizz depth, but we're still faster than the Ogre Pond Wellspring. And we test Steel this time, so we're not going to give him Horn Leech recovery back. And we're running Foul Play just in case for SD Lando, SD Scizor, SD Ogre Pond. Foul Play is pretty good. Heat Wave for the Scizor. I don't actually think it hits anything. I guess it hits the Weavile, but that's about it. Bleak Wing is just stab, hits the Lando, hits the Lottie pretty decently. And then Sludge Bomb hits the Prem, and we can fish for poison. Next up, we have Greninja with Fling. Once again, Big Nugget. Also, Fling with Big Nugget's 130 base power, like Dark type move. So that's pretty good. Gunk Shot for the Prem, because we're just going physical. Night Slash, just for secondary stab once Fling is gone, because we want to keep the Fling for that Ogre Pond. And then Surf was the last move of choice, because it hits the Lando pretty hard. Also hits the Viva, especially if we get the +1. But we are more physically offensive this time, instead of especially offensive. We've learned from a mistake from the first time. Enough speed for the Lycanroc, I think. Next up, we have Terrapagos, another Boots. This time we're running Terra Starstorm, Flamethrower, Rapid Spin. So pretty similar as before. And then another change, we're running Supercell Slam, because it was the best move to hit the Ogre Pond. I could have ran Double Edge, but I didn't really want to take the recoil if necessary. So I just ran Supercell Slam to take out the Wellspring, because it does the most damage. And this time we Rash as well. So right, we're learning our lessons, right? All 3 mons so far have been adapted for the Wellspring. Last mon we have is a Tingaloo, which is weakness policy, pretty bulky. Throat Chop, Ruination, Earthquake, and Spikes. This was to make sure it's not like, what do you call it? It's not setup fodder, or like, because that's what I felt was last time the Tingaloo was too passive and I was forced to swap, but this time I don't really need to swap. And there are a couple of things that can trigger its policy, like Latias or Prim if they're not set up yet. And then we can do massive damage to them, which is pretty cool. Next up, we have Metagross with a Sugar Berry for the Lando, obviously. and we're running Stealth Rock, Bullet Punch, Heavy Slam, Knockoff. This can also switch into Latias if needed, but Tinglu will probably be the first switch. And a weak Aura Sphere from like Lati will do nothing to Tinglu, which is what the weakness policy was for, to abuse that. Um, and as for the Metagross, Bullet Punch plus Heavy Slam basically hits everything and knockoffs for the Latias. I did. Oh, knockoffs also for the Scizor. I debated Psychic Fangs, so I could hit the Wellspring, but I figured I would never keep the Metagross in on Wellspring, so it didn't matter. So yeah, and then Rocks, because Rocks are nice. His only removal is the Scizor Defog, so that also helps us. And then last we have Choice Scarf Obama Snow, but it's like max HP to kind of maybe bluff that we're bulky. And we Wood Hammer, Icicle Spear, Aura Whale, and Lead Seed. Again, this is choice card just to like maybe beat the Wellspring, or maybe it can pick off like Lando or Latias, which could be nice. Same for like Prim, like Combine Prim. This guarantees like picks it off, which is nice. So and then Whale and Lead Seed are just because I feel like if it forces to swap, a Whale, a greedy Whale, or a greedy Lead Seed can be nice. So yeah, let's jump into the game. I led with Tinglu. Uh, expect Not really sure what I expected, but Tinglu just felt like the best lead. As he leads Lando, here I just go for the Ruination first to just chip this thing down. As he does go for the taunt, so that works out for me. I go into Abomasnow now expecting rocks, as he does get up his rocks. Here I didn't really think he would stay in because I could have just Ice Sharded and taken him out. And he's already revealed taunt, so I'm not gonna click like whale, but I do click whale because I'm Scarf, but he stays in, and now he knows I'm Scarf as he clicks taunt. But I was like, okay, whatever. I just go into Torn because I didn't think he can click Stone Edge here. As he doubles into Scizor, which is like perfect, because now I can just Heat Wave. Oh, I just went for the Bleak Wind. Wow, I didn't even go for the Heat Wave. I guess I thought the Prim would come in, or the Lottie, so I just Bleak Winded instead. As the Lando comes in, takes a good chunk, and here I don't want to miss, and I reveal I'm not Scarf, I just Mega and click Foul Play. Sorry. In comes the Ogerpon, I just Foul Play. If he wants to cudgel me with screen up, so be it. As he Terras, and I Foul Play, it does 47, so this one is not as bulky as the last one, I guess. As he cudgels, does 44. And now I swap into a Abomasnow, which also stops like synthesis as he does quick taunt, which is fine, whatever. As I double back into Torn expecting the Scizor, and I get this double right as he does go into Scizor. I didn't expect the Wellspring to stay in because I already read Scarf Abomasnow. And here I can just click off a free Heat Wave because the first time I didn't click it, so I figured he might think I don't have Heat Wave. So I click it, and the Scizor is gone. So, this game's turning out swimmingly well. In comes the Prim. I don't want him to set up, so I just go for Sludge Bomb as he used to be Kibia. The other reason for clicking that was so that Grant's Skunk would be freer and would not be blocked. He does click Combine, which is a little annoying. But I just go into Metagross, thinking it was like expendable at this point. Like, I can kind of beat Weavile with my Torn, so I'm just going to Metagross to sack it, but I do live because he's a bulkier variant, which means I get to click a free Heavy Slam here. As he goes into the Ogerpon and takes a lot of damage, and which puts it in range of Bullet Punch, which is perfect. So I'm able to pick off the Wellspring, which is really nice. This was the biggest threat to my team for sure, so getting rid of that is pretty good. We're up 6-3 once again versus a Wellspring team, but this time the Wellspring is gone. So surely we can't mess this up, right, guys? Right? Like lightning doesn't strike the same place twice, or whatever the saying is. In comes the Weavile, and because he has to click like a dark move to kill me. I just Bullet Punch to get chip. Like if he's weakness policy, he's weakness policy. As he clicks knockoff, takes us out, fine, whatever. I go into Torn again. I believe I just clicked Sludge Bomb because it killed the Weavile from there. Yep, as he goes into Prim. So I can Sludge Bomb again. I get the poison this time. This is on the third attempt, so not really hacks. And he gets the Torn Boosted Surf, but we live, which is huge, which means we keep our Rocky Helmet for the Weavile if needed. Which in comes the Weavile. I decide to sack off my Torn as he takes Helmet Chip. I'm going to trap a Ghost now to pick up this KO. I believe I Rapid Spun. Uh, as he clicks Knock, crits us, but Terra Shell is broken. Yep. Rapid Spin breaks the shell. Kills the Weavile. In comes Latios. And I just clicked Test Star Storm first. I wanted to see if he was weakness policy or not. Or like if he was set up or not. And I didn't like I basically didn't have enough. I just wanted to see how much damage it would do, what kind of set he is, but he really speaks Scarf. So I was like, okay. I do sack off my Trapagos deck because all my mons are weak to Aura Sphere. So I decided to sack off the Trapagos, just going to Tinglu and click Throat Chop. As you see, the Aura Sphere did no damage at all, and yep, that's the game. I feel like we played this pretty well. We prepped really well. All our techs hit, all our like Terra, everything hit. It was pretty comfortable. I don't really think there was hacks. There was just poison on the Prim. But it was on the third one, so I don't really think it was hacks. Played this pretty well, and we're up 5-2. So, as I said, once we got to 2-2, that pressure was gone. So like I was playing a lot more freely, just trying to get points rather than trying to make top cut, and it just worked out in my favor. As for round 8, our opponent unfortunately was pretty bad at scheduling and didn't respond for like 3 days, so we ended up getting a forfeit win to go 6-2. I would have liked to play, but unfortunately, like I don't have time to wait around all day to play, and sometimes it just be like that sometimes. And we got a forfeit win round 8 to go 6-2, which means one more win and we will make top cut. So some of the pressure was back on, but also at 6-2, I was guaranteed like 60 or 70 points, which was pretty good and would put us like in the top half once again. So I was pretty happy already, and DCL was starting up. So I believe after week 6 or 7, like round 6 or 7, I wasn't taking this as seriously or putting as much effort into it because DCL was more important, like the draft and like playing and building and mocking. So this definitely took like a backseat. But it was just like fun to like prep SV and play because in DCL I was playing Aura, so it was like nice to have a context switch and have some fun. But yeah, I'll be back with our round 9 and last game in a bit. Alright, we're back with our round 9 game. So we're 6-2. So basically, this is win and in. Loser gets eliminated. Winner gets to be in top cut, right? When our opponent is the SAR 1999, again, I don't know who they are, but they're 6-2, so they obviously have been doing pretty well. And we face another Wellspring, right? Like, why not? My team's super weak to Wellspring, and this is the third one we face, and that's something I find funny about tournaments like these. Is like whatever you're weak to, it seems like you just end up facing a lot of those. But yeah, another Wellspring. Smogon hates me. They want me gone, but and they're trying the best, right? Sending out another Wellspring. And then they have Zapdos, Weavile. By the way, Zapdos is the goat, best bird. Another Weavile, Klefki, Engaging Fire, another Broken Mon. Brambleghast, which I believe was Terra, and then a Rhyperior and a Growlithe. It's a pretty scary team again. Obviously, Wellspring is the most scariest mon for sure. Next is probably Weavile, and then followed by Gouging Fire. Zapdos and SV is like a mixed bag. Some people hate it, some people like it. Like again, it's a good Gloomon, Obviously, lost some tools like you can't Whirlwind, which makes it set up fodder for physical Terra Electric Mon, especially if they have recovery or something. Zapdos just cannot touch them at all, um, other than like Heatwave Burn, I guess. Um, it's a good Gloomon, but obviously no Defog, no like Roar, Whirlwind hurts. Klefki is also an interesting one because it has like Thunder Wave or Switcheroo Lagging Tail to stop stuff, so it forces like Terra Dark. Um, but like it's easy to prep around it now. I feel, but I felt like it was good in the start of SV as a good disruptor. But now people have figured out what it does, and like you can just sack something to like scout like a Lagging Tail or something. Gouging Fire is broken though. This is just Zard X, but it can run boots, so that's crazy. And Bramblegast is surprisingly pretty decent. Like I used to think this was trash, but it's actually pretty annoying. And obviously it hits really hard. Like I swept someone in a mock with Choice Band Bramblegast with like Poltergeist Power Whip. Like it went crazy. It might not even have been banned. It was just Bell Tag, and it just went smoked. But yeah, let's jump into a team. We're pretty interesting torn. It's Citrus Berry, Terra Electric, and with Bulk Up, Terra Blast, Acrobatics, and Grass Knot. Enough speed for the Ogerpon. As I said, the Zapdos, which should, usually tale as old as time, Zapdos walls torn, right? End of discussion. Uh, the best Tord can do is Toxic and swap out. Um, but now, because of Terra, Torn flips the table around, right? Like, Terra Electric Bulk Up and the Zapdos cannot do anything to me. And Citrus Bay just to get that recovery as well as get the acrobatics off. And then Terra Blast hits the Ogerpon once it terrors, and then Acrobatics hits everything else. It also makes it plus really hard for him to revenge. Like Torn can pick up a couple of bonds. I can also swap after because of regen, and then still have 110 base power acrobatics, right? Which is pretty cool. And Grassnut was just for the Rhyperior. Obviously, you need a lot of chip on it, or not a lot, but like some chip on it before it'll kill. But it's just there, just in case. Next up, we have another Big Nugget Greninja. This time with some lesser attack because I'm Dark Pulse Ice Beam Surf. Um, so mostly special, just because like Gouging Fire Spidef is worse than its Fistef. And then Slink once again for the Ogerpon, and then Surf Dark Pulse Ice Beam hits the rest of his team pretty decently. Um, and then Balbon again just to get the +1/+1, and then it's really hard for him to revenge as well. Also, I'm immune to like Klefki's prankster shenanigans, which is nice. Next up, we have Bootstrapagos, but this time I'm running Rapid Spin, Terra Star Storm, Flamethrower, Energy Ball. So just all out attacking. Flamethrower is for the Klefki. Didn't run Earth Power in case he was Magnetized. And then Test Starstorm and Earth Power have the same power basically on the Gushing Fire. So, and Flamethrower also hits the Bramblegast, which is immune to Test Starstorm. And then Energy Ball is for the Rhyperior. Enough speed to outspeed Weavile at +1. Next up, we have Rocky Helmet, Fizdef, Tingaloo, which is going to be a Gushing Fire check. And we're running Ruination, Earthquake, Spikes, and Throat Chop. Throat Chop is to hit the Bramblegast. Ruination, just nice in general. Spikes, his only removal is the Bramblegast, which I wasn't sure would come or not. And yeah, Throat Chop hits the Zapdos and the Bramblegast. And then Helmet to chip down the Gushing Fire, which is something we should be able to check. Next up, we have Colbur Metagross with Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Psychic Fangs, and Bullet Punch. Pretty standard Metagross again, like we get up rocks. Earthquake hits the Gushing Fire, hits the Klefki. Psychic Fang hits the Ogerpon, hits the Zapdos, hits the Brambleghast, hits the Gushing Fire too. And then Bullet Punch just to pick off like the Weavile if needed. And last, we have another Fistef Abomasnow, Woodhammer, Urwale, Lead Seed, and Blizzard. This is our Ogerpon switch in once again. Can also be a Bramblegast switch in, although we don't really hit it because it's immune to Blizzard because of Wind Rider. But hopefully he won't know that, right? And he has to fear Icicle Spear. But yeah, let's jump into the game. I lead Tinglu as he leads the Klefki, so this works out perfectly. I click Ruination, trying to bring this Klefki down. As he clicks Reflect, so I was like, okay, it's a little annoying. I click Spikes first, expecting the second screen, and then expecting him to swap to make the most of his screen turns. I click Ruination to chip whatever wants to come in, which is the Weavile. And because I know he went into this, he is SD, so I go for the Earthquake first. Um, but after he clicks the SD, I know he's clicking Ice Move or Low Kick. So I go into Metagross now expecting Ice Move or Low Kick, but he clicks Triple Axle, only gets one hit, which is perfect. I do go for the Bullet Punch, even though it's obvious, because, he's +2, and if I get that play wrong, I lose. So there's no harm in, getting that one wrong. As he just goes Zapdos, gets static immediately, which is fine. I think I just stayed in to get up my rocks as he. Oh, actually, I think I click Psychic Fangs to break the screens. But I get fully paired, which is not the end of the world as he goes Bramblegast. And we used to be lefties, which is fine. I go into Obama Snow now as he does click Rapid Spin, which is fine. Didn't expect him to stay, so I decided to get up my Aurora Whale up, but he actually clicks Poltergeist and does decent damage. As I said, this thing is super annoying. And I can't hit this thing because Blizzard. He's immune to Blizzard. Um, I thought now he might switch because I set up the whale, but he stays in, and I was like, "Dang, this is annoying." So I go into Torn. Because of the whale, I should be able to take the hits better. Yeah, as he does click Poltergeist, does 29, and after he what do you call it? After we eat up the citrus, he can't really hit us with the Poltergeist. I'm not sure why I teared here. I feel like I should have just clicked up Bulk Up, so that I would still resist Power Whip. So I feel like this was a misplay, but I do Bulk Up as he stays in, and I click Acrobatics as he clicks Strength Sap, but even at neutral, we're able to just take out the Bramblegas. I guess this thing's bulk is trash, but offensively, he's kind of annoying. But getting rid of that is pretty good because if you get up our hazards again, now they're here to stay, which is pretty good. In comes the Gouging Fire. I don't really need to risk this, so I just go Tinglu. Because I don't really want to get into like a crit war with him, especially when he has recovery and I don't on my Torn. So just go Tinglu. He DDs and then swaps. Not sure why he went Klefki. I figured Earthquake was just gonna come out, right? I guess maybe if Aurora came out, but I figured he had a full health Wellspring to go into. But he sacks the Klefki here, which we'll take because no more screens. In comes Wellspring. I just go hard Abomasnow as he does SD up, and then clicks the low kick to take us out. I go into Torn. I make the read that he's going to Terra. Basically, this is a 50-50, right? If I click Acrobatics as he doesn't Terra, he dies. But if I click Acrobatics as he Terras, I don't do as much as if I click Terra Blast. And then obviously, if I click Terra Blast and he didn't Terra, he would basically eat it up. So I just click Terra Blast as he does swap, as we do 85, which is pretty decent damage. He clicks Trailblaze, which is definitely scary. But at this point, I was like, ooh, I don't know what to do. I didn't want to sack Torn, but like I didn't want him to like Horn Leech on the Metagross. So I decided to just stay in and although I guess he would not be Horn Leech, he would be Cudgel last. So maybe I should have made the Metagross play. But I stay in to stack Torn. And now I go into Metagross to Bullet Punch him because I believe this was in range. But I get fully paired as he cudgels me and takes me out. And I'm like, dang. Again, basically, it was to prevent Terrapagos from losing its Terra Shell. But once again, I'm forced to go into it and pray I don't get paired. Pray I don't get crit, because crit Ivy Cudgel would have killed me, as you can see. But luckily it doesn't crit, so we're able to Rapid Spin and take him out. And here I just spam a strong Terra Star Stomp just to see what he would do. As he does Dragon Dance, I was like, okay, I can swap out, save my Terrapagos as a sack if needed, and go into Tinglu as he clicks Heat Crash, doesn't do a lot of damage. As I start spamming Earthquake, it does 55, so I know he's going to swap. I think I just spam Earthquake a couple of times. Like, if he goes into Zapdos, it's whatever, right? He clicks Outrage here, and which means his Gouging Fire is dead, which is pretty good. In comes Zapdos, and I just spam Ruination, I think. Yeah, basically, at this point, I just need to make sure this thing, when my Tinglu dies, this thing is low, so that Gren can pick this off, and then Gren wins the game. Um, he misses a couple of Hurricanes as I spammed Earthquake to keep this thing low. I believe it's clicked. I clicked Ruination and missed, so that's kind of unfortunate as he hits his Hurricane. Luckily, it doesn't confuse us, so we're able to get another Ruination off. And I believe I just started spamming Earthquake now. Yeah, just to keep him low, right? Like, um, if Zapdos is low, Greninja comes in, picks this off, and then it wins, right? That's basically what I was going for. He clicks U-turn here for some reason. But I was just going to spam Earthquake. As I said, there's no point clicking Ruination now. Because this thing is low enough for Gren. He clicks U-turn and loses out. So he didn't even go for like any misplay or chance. So yeah, we were able to win and go 2-0, which is pretty cool. And we went 7-2, and that should have been enough for playoffs or top cut. Except there were a lot of people who had 7-2. So our strength of schedule or resistance was pretty low. Because we went 2-2 pretty early. So since then, we've played a lot of people who would have lost and got eliminated. So their records are not as good. So we actually had one of the lowest resistances of the people who went 7-2, which meant we had to play a play-in, which means another game. And yeah, as I said, at this point, DCL was well and truly underway. Like, this game was when August 24th. This was like when drafting ended. Like, week one had started. Um, So it was just annoying and stressful. But I was like, okay, whatever. I'll play it. Like, again, I'm just gonna take a chill. I have enough points. Not the end of the world. So yeah, let's jump into our playing game, which is against Catass. Cat. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I played them in the Oras Cup, and I believe they should have knocked me out round 5 or 6. I hacked them really bad, but then they choked at the end of the game. With the electrode, like they clicked volt switch. No, they doubled out instead of taking the kill, and yeah, we won. And then the rest is history, as they say. Um, but yeah, let's jump into this matchup. Our opponent has a team of Raging Bolt, Masquerada, Primarina, Iron Treads, Bronzong, Terramoltres, and they also had a Gengar and Flamigo on the bench. Another Terra Raging Bolt, which is super scary, obviously with the Masquerada combination, which seems to be the preferred combination, because with Raging Bolt you want speed, and Masquerada is like good physical speed, which helps a lot. Prim is pretty good, it's pretty decent into a team. Threats is alright, like, I don't think it does a lot of damage to like Tingaloo, but it can obviously get around it with like, Iron Defense Body Press or something. Same with Bronzong, can definitely be annoying. Hypnosis stuff, rocks, Nightshade, screens, weakness policy, can do a bunch of stuff. Mortress, we know, is super annoying for our team. Our fire resist is Greninja. So, yeah, another like pretty annoying matchup. Let's jump into a team. We running up with the Terra Poison Rocky Helmet Torn once again. This is going to be a Masquerada check. There's also going to be the Flamigo check, but it's not here. And then Terra Poison Sludge Bomb actually does pretty decent into his team because we have Heat Wave for the double steal. Knockoff, once again, just to get rid of items. And then Grass Knot was me making a soul read that the Raging Bolt was going to be Terra Water, and then Grass Knot would do a lot of damage to it. And it's the same reason I'm Grass Knot on my next one, which is Expert Belt Greninja, Battle Bond again. Surf Dark Pulse as stab, Sludge Wave for the Primarina. And Grass Knot is another making a read on the uh, Raging Bull. That'll be Terra Water. Otherwise, Greninja does really good. Surf, Dark Pulse, Surf, Sludge Wave, um, Grass Knot once it Terras. Expert Belt, just because we hit everything super effectively. Um, yeah, enough speed for the Gengar, I think. And Torn has enough speed for the Gengar as well, I think. If I'm not wrong, at least. Anyway, next up we have Tinglu, Max Bidef, Citrus Bay. This is our Raging Bull check. Spikes, Ruination, Earthquake, Whirlwind, pretty standard stuff. Next up we have Terrapagos, another standard set, something I've been running a lot. Test Starstorm, Flamethrower, Rapid Spin, Calm Mind. Test Starstorm hits everything except the two steel types, which Flamethrower hits, and then Rapid Spin, Calm Mind. And then Boots to keep a Terra Shell. And then Max Bidef Obama Snow this time to help with the Raging Bolt, helps with the Prime a little bit. Lead Seed, Blizzard, Aurora Whale, Giga Drain. Kind of walled by the Moltres, but with the Aurora Whale, maybe it might be easier to swap around the Moltres this time. Also, Lead Seed's pretty good because the Meowscarada is never switching in on Abomasnow, which means the Lead Seed and then swapping out is a little easier to play around. And then last we have Choice Scarf Metagross. This is just a lure to take out Meowscarada, if possible, because that would be pretty cool. Or what else could I take out? Or maybe even a Moltres. If I could just lure the Moltres and take it out, that'd be pretty cool. Knock off Heavy Slam, Psychic Drink, Stone Edge. Just a lure set. So yeah, let's jump into the battle. I decided to lead Metagross as he does lead the Meowscarada. I didn't really expect him to click knockoff into weakness policy Metagross. So I thought he might swap or he might click U-turn. So I decided to go for the knockoff because I thought if he's clicking U-turn, he'll go into like Moltres or Treads, and I wasn't sure which one. So I did, or even like Bronzong, right? So I figured knockoff was maybe the best play to just get rid of an item. But he stays in. There used to be Boots, so I was like, okay, I guess this still works out. Like he could have maybe just lured it and taken it out, but this means that if Greninja gets off a Battle Bond, this thing will be slower, which is nice. So, yeah, I swap now into my Torn. As he does click knockoff now, takes the Rocky Helmet, which is fine. I don't Terra yet, as I just click. I click Heatwave, predicting the Treads, or Bronzong, but he goes into Raging Bolt and reveals to be lefties, which is fine. I go into Tinglu here, as he does reveal to be Terra Water. He does click Discharge, so trying to get the pair up, but doesn't get it. Terra Blast does 41. We eat a Citrus Berry, and we set up a Spike 2 to match their Spike. Another Terra Blast as I click Ruination to bring this thing low. And here, expecting another Terra Blast, it's just going to Abomasnow. And I think I clicked Lead Seed as they do click Volt Switch. And go into Bronzong. Oh, as I just clicked Whale, here comes Bronzong, so I just clicked Lead Seed as they go for the Stealth Rock, which is fine. A little annoying, but it's fine. And here, I just clicked the Blizzard, which does decent damage to the Moltres, which is cool. As they roost up, which is good play by them, and now they can pick off the Tinglu. Except they don't, because Tinglu broken, but I miss Ruination, so it doesn't matter. Going to Terrapagos now, I decide to spin off these hazards as the Moltres stays in, and luckily we don't get flame bodied as it does click Roar, so I guess it was scared of Calm Mind or Rock Polish. But I'm able to go into Torn and I just Terra and Sludge Bomb and get the poison immediately, so that's good. But I guess I missed like what do you call it? I missed the Ruination, right? So this is kind of fair. I don't know. But I get lucky, get the poison, and he also reveals like he can't really touch a lot of stuff because he just Flamethrower Wisp. So I was like, okay, this is good to know. I believe it just clicked Sludge Bomb again as he clicks Roost, and I don't remember if I clicked Knockoff at some point. Oh, I just clicked Knockoff now. It doesn't really matter though because I don't have Rock, so it doesn't really make a difference. I click Sludge Bomb now, but I think he might have gone into Bronzong here. Yeah. So go play by him. And here I just knock off trying to get rid of the item. It only does 9% as he gets up his rocks again. And now I'm going to Metagross. As he just clicked the Gyre Ball, doesn't do damage. And I click Psychic Fangs, expecting the Moltres. And then expecting him to swap because he knows I'm Scarf. I make the pivot into Torn, but he stays in. So I was like, oh, okay. I click Sludge Bomb again as he makes the Bronzong pivot, so I go back into Metagross. As he clicks Nightshade, which is fine. I think I click Knockoff here. Yep. He clicks Nightshade again and try to sack the Metagross, but I get the higher roll this time and get rid of the Bronzong. I click Knockoff again to get rid of the Treads. What do you call it? AV. In comes the Treads. I believe I click Whale Up again. And I click Giga Drain this time. Just because he doesn't really have a good Giga Drain resist at this point. And I can get some health back on the Treads. But he makes the Raging Bolt pivot, which is even nice because I get more health back. And this cannot do anything to me, so I just go for the Giga Drain again as he clicks Protect. Which is whatever, he's still dead, so he goes for the Discharge Para. Doesn't get it. We're able to Giga Drain to get the Bolt. So that's nice. In comes the Moltres. I make the trap. It goes play, expecting Roost. Which is what happens. And here, I believe I clicked Rapid Spin. As he does click Flamethrower. Yep, we click Rapid Spin, get the rocks. And I click Terra Starstorm here. The Moltres is dead. It comes to Tread. I click Flamethrower. I crit. I don't know if it mattered. I think once the AV was gone, the Treads died because we are max special attack, right? Yeah. So I don't think that mattered. It comes to Prem. I combine first. As he clicks Moonblast, gets the special attack drop, not the end of the world. I click Test Starstorm now, it does 50%. As he Moonblast again, we Starstorm, we get a similar roll. But he gets a lower roll on the Moonblast, which means we live. And I can just Rapid Spin to take it out as well. In comes Meowscarada, it just does Starstorm. It feels Sucker Punch, whatever. I think we still win because I would have to go Torn. Or actually, I could have just gone Abomasnow and Blizzarded, and match is over. Yeah. I feel like this was a pretty dominant win for O. Like, our prep into Raging Bolt was a lot better this time. But obviously, this team feels a little weaker than the other Raging Bolt one. So I guess that helps. And yeah, we go 8-2, and which means we make top cut. So top cut means top 32, and which means I think we were guaranteed 150 points or at least 100 points, which was enough to make it like for circuit playoffs, which was pretty cool. And after top cut, there was another redraft. Just because some people were placed in like pools with like a lot of new players or inexperienced players who didn't know how to draft that optimally, and so they would have like broken drafts. Like one of my drafts was considered one of the more broken ones. So there was a redraft of all the top players because the expectation was these people would be better at drafting, and now you'd be placed in pools with stronger draft players. So your draft will not be as broken or stupid, crazy like stupid broken power team. So yeah, so there was a redraft, and I just wanted to use something because, as I said, it was DCL, so I just wanted to use mons that were like easy to build with, like just slap on. I could make a team in 5 minutes and play. So I ended up I don't remember, I think it was like pick 3 or 4, and I ended up getting the option to pick TORNADUS-T again. So I just picked it up again as my tag captain. Because I'd just been building with it so much, I felt TORNADUS-T was just like fit my style, and it's an easy to build mon. So I could just build quickly and then focus on DCL. And then round 2, I ended up picking Tinglu, just the partner. Greninja and Terrapagos was obviously gone by this point because, as I said, this is with stronger draft players. So I didn't get that choice. So I just went for Tinglu for hazards, and then I paired it up with Goldingo because hazard plus like the spin block. I figured that was pretty cool. Next up, I was debating between Gouging Fire and Quackawall because I think the duck is really, really cool and really good, and I wanted to use him. But I've also never used Gouging Fire, and he seemed pretty broken. So I decided to just get Gouging Fire for fun because, as I said, at this point, what I wanted from this tournament has been achieved. I have enough points for circuit playoffs, so I don't really want to spend too much time on this. Next up, I got Tentacruel to have a spinner, get my grounded poison. Tentacruel's pretty decent in SB, has knockoff, flip turn, toxic spikes, toxic, haze, knockoff, pretty decent mon. Next up, decided to get Cornerstone because I thought Cornerstone would be pretty cool. Another like fun mon I've never used, and he seems like kind of fired. The speed tier was pretty good as well. It is something I wanted because I felt like my team last time was too slow because it was only Torn Grand, and then the next fastest was Primeape, and after that was like Terrapagos. So yeah, I decided to just get something in the base like 110 speed, and Cornerstone fit that, so just got him. Decided to just get Ogerpon again, just for the Ogerpon matchup once again, Wellspring and Teal. Decided to make him my captain this time because he's better than Carbink, and I just got Carbink because I only had one rocker at this point, so I decided to get a second rocker in Carbink. And Carbink's decent, it has like Custap, sturdy stuff it can do, Endeavor, has rocks, has spikes, has iron defense, body press. So I figured it was pretty decent mon. Yeah, so that's my draft. Not as good as my first draft, obviously, but my pool was pretty stacked in this draft, so nobody was trolling. So, yeah. In round one, we had to face Habita, who's one of the best SV players in this. One of the best players in general, but he's like, really, really good. And I think we've just played twice in the past. I don't know if we played more. I know we played twice in TDT, and he beat me in the regular season, and I beat him in the playoff. And I don't know if I played him since then, though. But he's really good. He's a DPL champion. He's a DCF champion. Really good. He used to be close before. We don't really talk much that more. But yeah, he's a really good player. And he has a team of Terra Zarude. He really loves his Zarude. Roaring Moon, Rotom Wash, Jirachi, Landorus Incarnate, Tauros, Paldea Blaze, the fire one, and it's also his Terramon. And then he had a Glimmora and a Trevenant on the bench. Pretty interesting team. Not something I would draft personally, but I know Habda really likes this kind of team because look at his team. He has 5 mons that can pivot, and like they all have like bulky options if needed. He also has like Glimmora, which can be bulky or offensive, so he kind of likes these teams. I personally, I don't know how to use these teams, so anyway, let's jump into a team. We start up with Terra Fairy, Rocky Helmet, Torn. This is a Roaring Moon check, and I'm running Nasty Plot, Terra Blast, Psychic, and Heatwave. I figured even if I run bulky, Nasty Plot would actually be pretty strong. Terra Blast hits pretty much his whole team. Psychic hits the Glimmora, which didn't come, also hits the Tauros, and then Heatwave hits the Jirachi. And we have enough speed for the Roaring Moon as well. Next up, we have Tinglu with the max speed F, basically, lefties, and running Rocks, Whirlwind, Ruination, Earthquake. This checks Lando, this checks Glimmora, checks Jirachi, so that's kind of nice. Standard Tinglu set. Next up, Cornerstone, which is Ivy Cudgel, Knockoff, Encore, and Spikes. Enough speed for the Zarude. I believe Cudgel has no resist other than the Jirachi, which knockoff hits. Encore is just nice for like bulk up, Zarude, or like something locked into a move they don't want to be locked into. And then I figured the Rotom would never stay in on Cornerstone, so I didn't need a grass move, so I just went for Spikes. Next up, I have a Gushing Fire with loaded dice, Dragon Dance, Heat Crash, Scale Shot, and Earthquake. Figured this, if it gets the Dragon Dance off, it could be pretty strong and could maybe just win the game. Scale Shot is just like if it's hop on Roaring Moon or something, we can get past that, or even just to get like another speed boost, so we're fast and Scarf Roaring Moon. Next up, Sugarberry Goldengo with Shadow Ball, Make It Rain, Recover, and Thunder Wave. In hindsight, this probably should have been Colbert because of the double dark, but I figured Landorus was such a pain that it might be better to just be Sugarberry. Sugarberry also helped into the Glenmora, so I guess it was for that. And then Thunder Wave just, to slow things down. Shadow Ball, Make It Rain is just stabs, and then Recover. I think Shadow Ball, Make It Rain hits everything, right? Like, Dazzle was an option to hit Roaring Moon harder, but I was not Cold Burst, so I was never going to stay in. And then last, I have a Sugarberry Tentacruel with Rapid Spin, Flip Turn, Knockoff, and Haze. Not sure why this is Sugar. I guess this is for the land though? Not 100% sure. I built this pretty quickly, but yeah, I guess I feared the Landorus more than this Rude and Moon, which seems weird, but yeah, let's jump into the game. I decided to leave Cornerstone as he leads the Jirachi. I just go for the knockoff right away. As it is like play Jirachi, I go for the Encore, and I believe I just click knockoff once again. I go for my own spikes, and then go for the Ivy Cudgel. I crit, but don't kill. So I'm like, pretty good start. The Jirachi is low, the Roaring Moon is low, and here I go into Ting Lu. As he clicks knockoff again. Here I believe I clicked rocks. Yeah, I get up my rocks as this root comes in. I go into Torn, in case this was banded or something. He clicks Pal Blizzard, which doesn't make contact, which I didn't know. That's good to know. Here I just Terra and I click Terra Blast. As it does 52, he is weakness policy though. Clicks the Trailblaze, gets the KO. And so he's +2, +2, +1, or sorry, +2 attack, +1 speed. And I go into Gouging Fire. I reveal to not be Boots as he goes Terra Dark and clicks knockoff and kills us. And I'm like, oh, I guess this is Jover then, right? Because Tentacruel's dead. I'm not Colbert on my Goldengo, so that's dead. Yeah, this dies to Battle Blizzard, and the Cornerstone dies to knockoff or Battle Blizzard, whatever you want. So, unfortunately, we ended up getting 6-0 in our first round of Top Cut, and yeah, I really prepped for weakness policies route, so good prep by him. I think it was the second 6-0 of our career, and the second 6-0 this year. Was it the this year or was it last year? I don't remember. But it's like the second 6-0 in SV, because Burger 6-0'd me in the Kilowatt Drill. Yeah, good prep by Habit. I don't know what to say. I guess I could have plotted first, like figured wait for weakness policy. But I wasn't really calculating, so I didn't. First of all, I didn't even think Terra Blast would do 52. And like, the other thing I think is maybe if I was like bulkier Gouging Fire or like Colbert Goldengo, I had ways around it. But in quick prep, I just figured the Lando was scarier. So yeah. Then I think Habit ended up making finals of seasonal. So huge shout outs to him, like made runner up, I believe. So that's the end of our run. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed the first team more, obviously, because of the Torn Grant. Like, Terrapagos was huge. I feel like it was my kill leader. Terra Torn was pretty good, obviously. Greninja was pretty solid, but half the time it didn't come out as much because I ended up relying on Terrapagos to win. Metagross was surprisingly pretty solid. So was Sabanos now. But yeah, like the 6-man team here was pretty solid. Swallow was decent in the game it came to. Primate, unfortunately, was not as good as I thought it would be. But I think overall going 8-3 was not bad. So yeah, uh, just to show the circuit doc, this is me at 642 points. I did get a 150 from the Summer Seasonal. So yeah, and 642 I should be pretty safe for playoffs. Actually, I believe I'm clinched at this point. And I'll be playing in circuit, and if I do well, I'll upload it. Also ended up playing low tier and didn't like upload because I got hacked out round 3, I think, or round 2, I remember. But I had a fun team there too. I had like Terra History Victory. It was pretty fun. But unfortunately, I got hacked. I didn't get deep enough run for a movie. But hopefully, we can do well in circuit playoff. After which, I will probably be taking a break until Borax Cup for the next circuit, which I don't remember when it is, but I think it's early on in the year, so it might just be like a 1 month break. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you've been watching so far, thank you, because I know this is crazy long. It's probably past 2 hours at this point. But there were a lot of games to cover, right? So, and I just keep rambling, I guess. But anyways, thanks a lot, and bye!